With Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
Didn't get exactly what you wanted for Christmas? Don't return it. Bring it to Saul's instead, and we'll give you cash on the spot. Tired of store credit? No problem. Saul's Jewelry and Loan will pay you cash for your jewelry, electronics, tools, and more. No need to stand in those long return lines. Just head to any of Saul's 5 locations and get cash quick. So don't re-gift this year. Get cash from Saul's.
You'll find it all at Saul's. Saul's Jewelry and Loan. You'll find it all at Saul's. Saul's Jewelry and Loan.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy in the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean.
Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's deal is for 2 $25 gift vouchers for the price of 1 for Ramona's Mexican restaurant in the historic Florence neighborhood. Known for their famous deep-fried burritos, their beast of a cheeseburger, and their Indian tacos. Don't forget their popular fresh, homemade, hot, and mild sauces. That's Ramona's Mexican restaurant.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
Hello! Uncle Leo! Hello! We are here and on the air. It's live. It's December 30th, 2024. It's cloudy outside. Is there any other pieces of information that I could give you to show you and guarantee you that this is a live show on the radio today.
Anyone could have pre-recorded that last week, Connor.
That's true. They would have known that it would have been very cloudy and gray, and they would have known that it would have been making a Seinfeld reference. Okay, what else? Nebraska has won. I guess they probably could have guessed.
Came in here Saturday night and recorded that.
They could have recorded two different versions.
That's right.
Nebraska won. Nebraska lost. Nebraska. Now, here's what they would not have known. Here's what they would not have known. Nebraska won a one-score game.
Impossible.
Exactly. How could you pre-record that? You would never think that.
Yeah.
You would never think to say that.
Should we record the Nebraska won a one-score game liner? Nah.
No. Why bother?
Why bother?
They did. They won the Pinstripe Bowl.
People forget.
It was great. There was much rejoicing.
They dominated 55 minutes of the Pinstripe Bowl.
And then held on for one. And so I got some tweets after Nebraska won, like, hey, whoa, where's everybody at? I'm at the Grand China Buffet. Do you guys not know the rules of the Grand China Buffet? That was after the Wisconsin game. That was after Nebraska became bowl eligible.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if they actually win or lose the bowl game. That's secondary to the conversation. But we're here. We are on the air. It's Connor. It's Josh. Josh's first show since what? December 20th, you slacker?
No,
December 13th,
yeah.
you slacker. December 13th. I watched Josh I was probably your most loyal viewer on the broadcast.
Oh, that's right.
At the JUCO National Championship game.
I was so pleased that you found it.
It was a bit of a struggle to find it.
Mm-hmm. We weren't allowed to shoot the field for the Iowa Western National Championship game. Mm-hmm. That belongs to ESPN. So we shot the other way into the broadcast booth.
Yes.
As we reacted.
And I was looking on your Twitter. I was looking for the link and stuff like this, but I had to dive deep into the archives, and I did find it.
You did find it. You got to find us react to
many things.
A failed fourth quarter drive.
Oh man, that stunk.
It wasn't fun.
It was tough.
Many hours, many days later, I would just randomly go, God, they lost.
Damn it.
What was it all for?
And we were lamenting the next morning that we weren't able to call you in your half-drunken stupor in the couch with the champagne, smoking a cigar at like 10 o'clock in the morning. We weren't able to do that because that was not a thing.
I was asleep because we flew home immediately after. I walked through my front door at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Hey, congratulations on losing that national championship game. Why don't you hop on a plane and not sleep all night?
So as you can tell, this is the Connor Happer Show. It's live. It's on the air. There's no crossover, but if there was a crossover, it would have been brought to you by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. There will be a crossover in a matter of about 4 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
But until then, we have the Connor Happer Show.
Now, don't try too hard on the afternoon crossover today because it's a crossover stuck in the void.
That's true.
It is not 2025, so it does not qualify for the best ofs. So don't if you're sitting on an A+ topic, you think for the crossover, save it.
So you mean we shouldn't get to that one that says on the board? Topic alert: I am very bad at Connect 4.
No, you might want to hang on to that one until what would it be, Thursday?
Patrick Mahomes writes into the show.
Oh, congratulations, Patrick.
Patrick, another kid.
Another one.
Is this live? Patrick wonders. Yes.
Poll question?
Yeah, well, we're first of all going to put that up at No Context 1620. Okay. Patrick Mahomes writes into the show, is this live? So that's up right now. And you can follow that excellent Twitter account. It is live. So we have to map out the show. We have sports that we want to talk about. Oh my goodness, the narratives in college football. They have gone off the rails. Kirk Herbstreit, his face got so red, it nearly exploded off of his head. He was so angry, and I don't even know what he's angry at. Kirk has lost his mind.
The basketball honks were that James Franco gif where his head is in the noose at the first time.
100%. It got really ugly following a very predictable first round of the college football playoff. So predictable that I predicted all of them. Went 4 for 4, by the way, Josh. You weren't here to give your
4.
Yeah, you weren't here to give your picks, but we'll call that a win. I'll call that a win for me.
Sure.
So we'll pick the quarterfinals today, but also, we'll have Schaefer, we'll have Sam. They are kind enough to join us on this random day of days. That's the lineup powered by the Roof Reese at John Higgins Weather Guard. I also think we should probably just do I Have an Opinion today, because we're not going to have a show on Wednesday. We're not going to have a show tomorrow.
That's right.
We've now straightened this all out. We will not be 6A to 6P will not be on the air tomorrow or Wednesday. There will be Blue Jay basketball tomorrow.
People forget.
Beginning at 2:30. Or is there shoot around?
There is shoot around since there is no show.
Shoot around starting at 1:30?
That is correct, sir.
1:30 with
Nailed it.
Young Austin.
That is correct.
And then 2:30, John will take it from the arena. And then 3, Rick Pitino. Last time he was here in Omaha, he wanted to go out to the snow and die of frostbite. I wanted to
might have that chance tomorrow too.
Well, I've heard about this whole cold snap thing that we're about to endure.
Oh, it's coming.
I don't think it's going to hit tomorrow though. I think Rick will be okay tomorrow.
It's supposed to precipitate all day today.
Yeah, tomorrow we're cool. But you start getting into next week, I see a high of 7 in our future. So
ooh, balmy.
Yeah. So it's a shame that Rick Pitino won't be visiting next week. He will not have the opportunity to die of frostbite. But he will have an opportunity to talk about his dear friend, Mark Pope. But only if he wants to. So that's tomorrow. And then Wednesday we're not here, and you can enjoy the lovely college football games that day.
That's right.
It's going to be awesome. It's been a weird 2 weeks. It's been a weird couple weeks. This whole holiday in the middle of the week thing has been very odd because there's been football. There was a point on it was Christmas. And I thought, this is last Wednesday. I don't know what week this is. I don't know what week of the NFL this is. It's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Is this week 16? Is this an extension of week 15?
Is it the end of the last week or the start of a new week?
I had no idea. I was just like, oh yeah, I guess there is a football game today. And then there was a football game the next day. And then there was football games on Saturday. And then there was football games on Sunday. And it was just very odd. It just kept happening.
The Ravens massacred 3 teams in 10 days and now have like 12 days off.
The whole NFL taking over every day and not having any regard for human life of what stands in their way, including the NBA, college football. It's been a little overwhelming over the last. That's what I've come to realize. It's been a little overwhelming. I don't need the NFL every day.
I'm glad the Bengals Broncos game was good because those 3 games were crap.
Yeah.
On paper.
Yeah.
And one of them managed to turn into something watchable. I'm sorry if one of your teams was playing in that game. Those games were crap on Saturday.
Bad.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of crap games.
Sure.
But the bowl games have come to our rescue.
They've been so good.
The bowl games have come to our rescue, Josh. The bowl games were awesome.
I sat in here and watched a 6 overtime game in this very room.
And all that people want to talk about is the 4 that were blowouts in the playoffs. and I'm sitting over here like, how about that Pop-Tarts Bowl? That was sick.
How about Cam Ward breaking a record and saying no mas?
I'm out of here.
No,
thank you.
Thank you.
I broke the record. That's why I play. That's why you play the game, to break the record.
And then after the game, Mario Cristobal's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He played.
What more do you want? He should get a medal because he played.
Exactly. Yeah, I love the spin zone by the coaches.
Also, I have no comment.
Yeah, I got no comment. Today we have a big Meteor Bowl, which we'll be keeping an eye on. Missouri and Iowa are going to play each other, but that's not till a little bit later. There was multiple 5 overtime games in the time that we haven't been here. The Hawaii Bowl between South Florida and San Jose State went to 5 overtimes. The game above sports, also known as the Detroit Poop Bowl, went to 6 overtimes, and I thought it would never end. The Rate Bowl was good. There was 1 billion points scored in the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma lost in the Armed Forces Bowl to one of our armed forces.
Salute to Navy.
And Texas A&M lost in the Vegas Bowl. That was fun to watch as well. So the bowl games have been good. Oh, yeah, Colorado. Did they win? Did they lose? There's really no way of knowing. Oh, yeah, actually, we have the scoreboard. They did lose. But by watching ESPN, you would have never known.
But, I mean, come on. They should get a medal for playing.
Yeah. I am proud of them, boys. I'm proud of those guys. What they did, it was unprecedented. Over the last 2 years, they won like 15 games in 2 years. I mean, it's unbelievable what they did. Unbelievable what they did. So plenty more bowl games coming up over the next couple days. Elsewhere on the show today, this is a show. It is live. We could talk about the things that we both did here momentarily during this segment. We'll talk about Nebraska's Pinstripe Bowl win and the things that came out of that. We'll get serious football for a few minutes. Nebraska basketball won the illustrious Diamond Head Classic. Josh has no comment.
They did what they were supposed to do, and I respect that.
Okay. Oh, Josh respects that. Good. We have to talk about Dana Holgerson's vacation destinations.
He's been everywhere, man.
I really enjoyed. One of my favorite things about the Pinstripe Bowl was watching the media be in New York for 3 days and laughing hysterically at everything I saw. Everything. We have some highlights coming up during the show today. College football having a huge meltdown. Also, I forgot that they did this, but they slapped some Creighton tickets on me before we left for tomorrow's game.
Game.
Yeah, so I have in my possession lower bowl seats to tomorrow's Creighton St. John's Rick Pitino Frostbite game, New Year's Eve. And it's a big one for the Jays. Need to get a game like this. St. John's is going to have a pretty good resume at the end of the year. So Creighton needs to get them. You could see Fedor. We're going to talk about Fedor.
That's right. It happened.
Fedor happened. Sounds like the next T-shirt. Fedor happens.
When was the last time Creighton played a basketball game?
It was last Saturday.
Oh, wow.
It was 9 days ago.
Nova?
Yep, they beat them.
Okay.
They beat them. Eric Dixon still went off.
That guy's 104 years old.
He is. He also happens to be like the top scorer in the country right now and the best three-point shooter in the country right now. But Villanova, after the game tried to like fight Stephen Ashworth. Stephen Ashworth, of all people. Stephen.
Well, you pick on the weak elderly Mormon.
He got injured late in the game, and Neptune went up to him and was like, "Come on, man, you're gonna flop and all that." The guy is he's barely practicing. He spent the last basically month just rehabbing from his ankle injury that he had against the Nebraska in the Nebraska game, and then he got his hip or whatever happened in the Villanova game, and people were on him. It's like, "Hey, soft." It's like, no.
Okay, I've seen this discourse, but I didn't really know what it stemmed from.
Yeah. No. Neptune apparently got after him after the game, and he was like, "Come on, man, you don't get a flop and all that. You're already good. Like you don't get a flop." It's like, I'm not flopping. I'm hurt. I'm injured.
I'm in pain.
Yes. So then there was like an almost skirmish after the game. So a Creighton Villanova game happened, and it was not without some sort of an event. But the big story is we're here. And then the next story is, as I go purred happily, the next story is, what do we do for the next 4 hours? What are we going to do?
We got to fill the time.
Yeah.
We
have at least 2 commenters.
We have to pay.
We have Charles and we have Patrick Mahomes today in the YouTube comments.
We have to pay homage to our many sponsors.
Theo was here once. Yes, many sponsors. Shout out to the Roofers, John Higgins, Weather Guard, as we already have. You know what? Double shout out. Shout out to them again. Triple shout out. I'll give a shout out to them every segment.
Hello.
Nice job, John Higgins, Weather Guard. We appreciate you. And the JTech Constructions on Twitter feed.
JTech.
Which you can hit us up at Happer Show, at Connor Happer there. Or how about the 42 Degrees of Source hotline where you could call us? Please call us today. If you call today, you could stay on for however long you want. You can have a random Mike, you could call twice.
Oh.
What? I don't see the problem. I don't see why not. You said it, Josh. This is a show that is gone after today. It just doesn't exist.
That's right.
All right. So call in. Get out your takes on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call or text that number. 402-951-1620. You can email the Equitable Bank inbox, Equitable Bank, Equitable Bank, Equitable Bank, Equitable Bank. Old man Doug was maybe doing some drunk tweeting.
Whoa, hello.
On the Pinstripe Bowl day. You know, he fired up the cigar early.
Yeah.
Early, Doug. But you can email us, Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the aforementioned Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And yes, we say good morning to both Patrick Mahomes and Charles, who are in the YouTube stream today.
Get in there, mix it up.
Thank you for being there. I appreciate that. I respect that. All right. Here's some things that I did over the last 10 days. Josh, you're going to be surprised by a couple of these.
Okay.
Yesterday. Well, I already told you about my this morning. I was triggered at Taco John's this morning.
I have seen this. I've heard about
We're not going to tell that story again, but it just, when there's a different person at the fast food restaurant that you always go to, it just throws everything off. I wasn't ready for it, and that was a different thing. But here's why I was triggered yesterday. So it's been kind of a festering problem over the last several weeks. My sound bar on my television, it was having trouble connecting. And the quick fix that we found was we could just put it on the Bluetooth setting. But then I started to get annoyed because the sound was coming after the words that were spoken on my television.
Okay.
And I'm a radio guy. I'm a stickler for sound. I need the sound to be good. And then people are like, well, why do you even need a sound bar? I'm like, that's idiotic. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You want the sound coming out of your television? Really? What are you? Anyway.
Your rube.
So something had to be done. And so what I found was that I had to go back before I had to go forward. I was fixing the connection. I went out and I bought a new optical cord. The optical cable, it connects your soundbar and your television.
That sounds fancy as hell.
Yep, didn't need it. Turns out that I didn't need it. Apparently, TVs have to update now. TVs have to update. What is it? A computer?
Okay. There it is.
What is this?
I could imagine that would trigger you, Connor Happer.
All of a sudden, it wouldn't find a network connection anymore. And I'm like, what is going on? Has my TV broken entirely? And so I had to factory reset my television. And then I had to log back into everything, update, find a network, and then change a setting on there. Back in my day, Josh, you used to be able to just plug stuff in and it worked.
Plug and play.
Yeah. And now there's all these different settings and accessibilities and things that you can and cannot do. I spent way too much time doing this yesterday when I could have been sitting peacefully on my couch with my lovely daughter and my lovely wife watching the NFL, which is a thing that I love. But no, I was triggered at my TV. I thought I had a TV, not a computer.
Yeah.
All right. Thing number 2. I watched a movie.
A movie?
A new movie that I had not seen before.
Okay. How old was it?
It came out less than 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. A new movie.
It was on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It was, I don't even remember what it was called, but it had Jason Bateman.
Oh,
and he was in an airport.
Not Die Hard 2.
It was not at all Die Hard. Not at all. It wasn't even a little Die Hard. It wasn't.
Die Hard 2 takes place in an airport.
Oh,
you
it
know
does.
This, right?
Oh, no, I didn't. I've never seen Die Hard 2. I know it wasn't Die Hard. It might have been Die Hard 2, but I've never seen Die Hard 2. Anyway,
Die Harder. It's called Die Harder.
So Jason Bateman, they grabbed me. Like they're looking right at me. They're like, if you don't watch this, then nobody's watching this.
I've heard a lot of people talk about this movie. I have not seen it, Connor.
So it's Jason Bateman. It's an airport. It's TSA. It's bombs. It's planes. It's Christmas. It's probably Die Hard 2.
It's all things Connor Happer knows and loves.
Yeah. So if I'm not watching it, nobody's watching it. That's so right. I indulge them and I watch it. It kind of sucked, but I didn't hate it. It had Jason Bateman. It had a good actor. So I watched that. I believe the movie was called...
See if you can get it right, everybody.
Do you know it?
I do.
Okay. Is one word. Do I have that part? Like a hyphenated, like a compound word, like a hyphenated word?
Correct.
In flight or break down. So,
Breakdown is a great movie starring Kurt Russell. Everyone should watch it. Carry On.
Carry On. And it turns out, well, I don't want to spoil it for people.
Yeah, no spoilers.
All right. But yeah, that movie kind of sucked, but I didn't hate it. So that's the new movie I watched.
Okay.
I watched a few episodes of Arrested Development.
I saw you opine.
Every year I refine my love for Arrested Development and I enjoy it. I didn't drive my car more than 5 miles. And I think one day I slept till 9:30 and that was crazy.
9:30 with a baby.
9:30 in the morning. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
It was wild. So that's what I did. What'd you do, Josh? You were here.
I was handcuffed to this board.
Why were you, why did you have to operate the board?
Well,
why did you have to operate the board? The whole thing about radio and computers is that they're automated and they work, right? Why is Josh, a human, have to be here?
Well, math and time are hard.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So that's it.
I played the dead man on like the dead man's stick on like a train. I'm here. I'm here if anything goes wrong.
Thank you, Josh. It's appreciated. Anything else? You were just tied to the board. That's it.
We did Christmas. Christmas was the thing that happened. I saw many movies. Hot take. Really, no other place to put this take, so I'm gonna put it here.
Okay.
Lin-Manuel Miranda has not made a good song since the original Moana movie. Why do we keep letting him do things?
Because he did Hamilton.
Well, yes. That's was a long time ago.
You asked why we keep letting him do things. That's why.
Yeah. But
he was the guy from Hamilton.
Perhaps we should ask for more from Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Okay. All right. I like that. That's
Mid-Manuel Miranda, more like it.
Nice. That's a great take, Josh. That's a great take. Oh, yeah. Jimmy Carter died.
That's right. R.I.P. to the Peanut Man.
He has been almost dead for years. And so it was shocking usually it's not shocking if a 100-year-old man dies, but it was shocking yesterday when I received this news.
It was
shocking.
I had a friend tell me and I said, I don't believe you. I'm going to have to Google this myself.
Yeah, you're reading this wrong. He's just in hospice again or something like that. The last time we heard from Jimmy Carter, he was not awake for days at a time. And like, that's not dead.
What a horrible existence.
Right. But not dead.
Right.
That was sad and surprising yesterday. Patrick Mahomes says, pour one out for my boy Jimmy. We're going to do that today.
I don't know if the Mahomeses are in on Jimmy Carter. I'm
this
be honest.
Show is dedicated to Jimmy Carter, officially.
We're doing it for Jimmy.
All right, other topics that people would like to talk about.
Okay.
Austin, we could recap Nebraska's special teams play this year. Should be fun. Good idea. Patrick Mahomes says, I can provide topics. An Ed Foley segment is needed. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about Ed. You guys, Ed Foley's not going to be the special teams coordinator next year.
Don't get too bent out of shape about this Ed Foley thing. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
okay?
It's okay. It's really okay. Now, the thing with special teams, as we'll talk about during the show, this was already a topic for the record, but I'll let Patrick Mahomes think it was his topic.
I ate at Whataburger while we were off.
Whoa! Did you get a honey butter chicken biscuit?
No.
You should have got that.
I should have. I didn't have the intel going in. I'm sorry.
Did you have breakfast? Did you have
No,
lunch?
it was a late night
dinner
thing.
Did you get a shake?
I did.
Good job by you.
Yeah, the shake was really good.
I think you did it right.
Okay.
Sounds like it anyway. But unless your hamburger had some crazy stuff on it. It didn't, right?
It had normal stuff on it, but I got it delivered. It was late at night. It was kind of cold by the time it got to me, but I had imbibed, so it was fine.
So if Nebraska ends up not having Ed Foley as their special teams coach next year, which they won't, for the record, they still need to get better at special teams. How many special teams coordinators has Nebraska hired? And you thought, that's the answer. Nebraska has had many.
Remember when they didn't have one at all and you said simply getting one will fix the problem?
Yep, it didn't. Our dear friend Sam McKewon, who will join the show at 1:00, I think makes a great point every time we talk about this. And the successes and the failures of the special teams are largely a reflection of how much the head coach wants to care about it. largely a reflection of not how good you want to be. Like Scott Frost would say over and over again, he would say, we have to be good at this. It makes a difference. We must do this. But then you actually have to like put in the effort. Right?
Right.
Do it. It comes from the top. So regardless if Nebraska has a special teams coordinator and his name is Ed Foley or his name is not Ed Foley or whatever next year, they need to be better at special teams, but there's no guarantee that they will. That is a topic that is coming up on the show today. Those are our topics, and that is our setup. We would love to hear from you, just to know that you're all alive and well. Thank you for being with us. If you are listening on a day such as today, you are a true friend of the program. You are a true friend of the show.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, yeah. True blue.
Nobody's listening today.
No.
Nobody. I'm not even listening myself. So if you're listening, thank you. And this is live, and it's December 30th. Shannon Sharp is on my television.
Oh.
He's been he threatened Kirk Herbstreit.
Here's how you can tell ESPN their leadership is in flux right now. If you've been following what's happening at ESPN, there's people moving out, people moving in. You can tell there's no leadership there because you would never see Shannon Sharp threaten bodily harm to Kirk Herbstreit.
Nothing happened. Everyone just kind of laughed and moved on.
Ah, what a funny thing you said.
Shannon Sharp was like, "Come see me, boy.
Come see."
I'm like, "Whoa, that's kind of crazy."
What are you gonna do? You gonna fight him?
I think he's gonna do bodily harm to Kirk Herbstreit. It's been a tough couple weeks for Kirk Herbstreit.
Because he managed to cross-promote your show?
Kirk Herbstreit might have been the biggest loser of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of losers. Kirk Herbstreit might have been the worst. He took the brunt of it. He had a bad Christmas.
He was the fall guy.
And this was coming. That's a great Ryan Gosling movie. And
this guy.
Yeah,
watching movies.
I get movie references. Ah, dang it. Now I forgot. I snuck in that Gosling thing and now I forgot what I was going to say.
Kirk Herbstreit, fall guy.
Kirk Herbstreit, fall guy. Yeah, it's been a tough time. That's what I was going to say. This is all coming off of his dog dying.
That's right. But
He's had a
new dog ready to go.
Oh yeah, he had Peter ready to roll.
His dogs have
Ben and Peter. All right, many people commenting into the show that they are here, and
Love
we
that.
thank them. Hockey Dad, Steve,
Hockey Dad, Merry Christmas, Hockey Dad.
Joel, everybody. Thank you. The gang's all here. And we will be here for the next 3.5 hours. Plus some on the crossover. Josh, take this as your invite to the crossover this afternoon.
Whoa.
Come on in. Mix it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have enough microphones?
Unless you want to just leave. That's fine too. Because you have that opportunity today.
I don't care.
All right. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Yeah, and part of this does come from the fact that, well, Nebraska's made a move on the offensive side, and everyone assumes they're going to be much better. But
on the offensive side?
On the offensive side.
Yeah, for sure.
They assume they're going to be much better.
Yeah.
But instead of losing 13 to 10 games, will they be losing 35 to 32 games?
Yeah. It's a great question.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7.
Impact weather Monday. Watch out for areas of dense fog during the morning drive. Then showers become widespread by the early afternoon. Temperatures in the low 40s. Rain changes over to snow after 5 p.m. in the metro. Watch out for slushy accumulation during the p.m. drive. Then snow continues overnight as temperatures drop below freezing. 1 to 2 inches of snow possible in the metro. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
How would you like to finally lose all those unwanted pounds quickly without spending thousands on painful injections or prescriptions? Hi, it's Donna Simpson, health and wellness expert. You probably know someone that is using Ozempic, the hottest diet craze in the country. Everyone knows about this prescription injection. Celebs use it to look their best. The problem is most of us can't afford Ozempic, and these injections can be so uncomfortable. Now you can lose the weight just as easily, but with no needles, no expensive prices, no side effects, and no worries. You need to try try Lozempic, a new miracle weight loss breakthrough that performs so well it's been called nature's Ozempic. Lozempic is an easy-to-take diet pill now available without a prescription, being used by thousands to get rid of those unwanted pounds. So call now and find out how to get a free bottle.
To find out how to get your free bottle of Lozempic, call 800-486-8613. 800-486-8613. Free bottles are limited, so call 800-486-8613. That's 800-486-8613.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Not all products are available in all 50 states. Compounded products are not FDA approved nor verified for safety, efficacy, or quality. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Why try Hims for weight loss? If you're interested in personalized prescription options, including Ozempic, Wegovy, oral medications, and compounded GLP-1 injections, and the support to see real results, you might like it. Why try Hims to regrow hair? If a range of treatment options made with clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride for thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months sound good, you might like it. Why try Hims for ED? If you've been looking for access to doctor-trusted treatments like Viagra, Cialis, and their more affordable generic counterparts, you and your partner might like it. The Hims process is simple, 100% online, and treatments are shipped free to your door in discreet packaging if prescribed. What's not to like? To save big on weight loss, hair loss, and ED solutions, get started today at hims.com. That's hims.com.
You ever think Will Ferrell gets sick of being Will Ferrell?
There was a time that I thought that.
So
like right around 05, 06 when he stopped being funny.
I just wow. No, he
got it back a little.
He was funny into the 2010s.
There
wasn't
was there was a stretch there. I don't remember what years it was exactly, but
Step Brothers came out in like 2010, right?
Okay, yeah,
he was funny there. But I just saw this video of him showing up at the LA Kings game, and he looks like a disheveled Buddy the Elf. Like he's Buddy the Elf, but a disheveled version, and he has a cigarette in his mouth. And
remember those?
They're showing him on the Jumbotron. It's like, doesn't he kind of just want to go to the game and just like go to the game?
Well,
he's like he's gonna show up as Buddy the Elf.
He's a diehard Kings fan.
He's gonna do a bit.
And he said it was a tough holiday season when they interviewed him on.
Oh, they interviewed him, of course.
FanDuel Sports Network.
Oh yeah,
remember the FanDuel Sports Network? That's a thing, everybody.
It is.
He said he's looking for a Kings win.
Did he find one?
And then he sort of did like a weird eulogy for James Caan.
Oh,
who was no longer with us.
All on the Bally Sports Network broadcast.
That's right.
Interesting.
Kings won 5-4 yesterday.
All right, so he got what he wished for. Nice job. Got a text here from Cody.
Hi, Cody.
Cody said he's listening live, and he sends us a picture of. So what? This setup is incredible. I wish I could show people, but I'll describe it the best I can. So it's a refrigerator, and he's got the cabinets in his kitchen. They're like floor to ceiling cabinets, big cabinets, like pantry. Everything is it looks like it splits in half there, but huge cabinets, the biggest cabinets I've ever seen. Big refrigerator, got kids, got all the stuff, all the kids' drawings and crap on there, and then television mounted above the refrigerator. Thoughts?
How
and the Connor Happer show is on the television.
How high am I looking when I look at it? Like,
I mean, the top of the refrigerator is probably 6 feet. It's probably a 6 foot tall refrigerator.
So I'm not really craning my neck.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Maybe sit at the island and watch.
I don't see the rest of the room, but you're walking around and the television's just there. I mean, it's not taking up any space. That'd be the thing that I'd be worried about in the kitchen.
A lot of kitchens have like cabinets over the refrigerator, and it's always like, what are you putting in there?
Oh, great take.
You're not putting anything in there.
Nothing. The
Can't
above
reach it.
the above the refrigerator cabinet and the above the microwave cabinet.
Mhm.
What are you putting in there?
Yeah.
Nada. Junk. Random assortment of things that you don't have space for.
It's where we put our the lids to our pots.
Nice. Do you not use the lids to your pots?
We generally don't use them, but when we do, like my wife and I are both 6 feet tall, we can get it.
Nice.
Mhm.
Good. All right. First topic today.
Ooh. No
is-
pressure.
I know. How are we going to start this thing? How will we bridge the gap between what we've not been doing for the last 10 days and people wanted to talk about football? And I found the perfect answer. It's this graphic shown by ESPN in the broadcast during the Pinstripe Bowl. Places Dana Holgorsen traveled this year. We need to spend 5 to 7 minutes on this, Josh.
I would love to.
All right. There are 15 cities on this list. 15.
That's a lot.
He was hired in mid-November at Nebraska to call the plays. He was fired from Houston at the end of last year. He was also working at TCU as an analyst, but as he has previously discussed, that was not a burden to him traveling. So he had some time. He had almost the entire year to just do whatever the hell he wanted. On Houston's dime, they were paying him to not coach there. Here are the cities: London, Bordeaux, French Riviera, Monaco, Paris, Napa, Malibu, Salt Lake City, Aspen.
A little place called Aspen.
The beer flows like wine. The women instinctively flock to the salmon Capistrano. Charleston, Baja Mar, Atlantis.
What's that now?
Atlantis, the
basketball tournament?
The underwater city. The lost underwater city. No, the battle. Yeah, like it's in the Bahamas. Jamaica, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo. They don't even put Cabo San Lucas. They just put Cabo. Tulum, and Cancun. Now, one would have to assume that he knocked out 4 to 5 of these at a time.
Right. This sounds like it was maybe 3 trips.
So, because he went to 17, those are 17 cities.
Wow.
He didn't go on 17 trips.
No.
And by the way, there's 2 American places on here: Napa, wine country, and Salt Lake City.
Malibu and Aspen, Charleston, also America.
3 more that I missed on the list. Thank you. But I want to talk about how there's some of everything on here, right? You can learn a lot about a person by where they go to vacation. But what can we learn about Dana Holgorsen by the fact that he took every vacation? What would Dana Holgorsen do in Tulum? What would Dana Holgorsen do in the French Riviera? Can you see Dana Holgorsen on a boat?
Yeah. I can
In
see him on a
Monaco?
boat. No, not in Monaco.
With a white wine?
No.
With his legs crossed and a breezy shirt?
No.
I can't either.
I see him on a dingy fishing boat.
But you can't do that in Monaco.
No.
You have to, if you're going to Monaco with a $2 million budget, you're going to do that thing. So he's going to do that. I can see Dana Holgorsen on the beach with not very much clothing on a Caribbean vacation. I could see that. I could see him with a drink with a big straw, so an umbrella in it. It's probably frozen.
Hey,
I
you
can
put a little Red Bull in there.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense to me. Can you see Dana Holgorsen in London? What would Dana Holgorsen do in the city in London? What would Dana Holgorsen do in the mountains? Aspen, Salt Lake City. What would Dana Holgerson do in Malibu? Eat nice dinner? 3 times? 4 times? So some of these make sense and some of them just don't. And I'd like to shout out ESPN for getting the list. Great question asking by Don Davenport to get the full extensive list.
Good point.
And of course, we have the ability to talk about this and dissect it on this day of days.
I want to know.
What do you want to know, Josh?
I want to know how we got from, hey guys, I found out this great tidbit about Dana Holgerson. I think we need a graphic.
Well, there's so many. Because you can't have Don Davenport sitting down there just reading them
rattling them off.
Yeah.
But was there any pushback on, no, that's not a graphic. What you've presented to me here, that's not a graphic. You're not going to have time to talk about that.
What is Dana Holgerson doing in Paris? What is he doing? Dave writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Dave.
On the JTech Constructions on Twitter feed.
JTech.
As a reminder, Dana did all of this and then decided he was bored and wanted to go back to calling football plays.
That's right.
That's true. That's still the reason he took this job. And another reminder that this is basically him, handshake mean Dana Raiola, Dylan Raiola. That's what we should call him. Dana Raiola, the connection between those two is the exclusive source of confidence for the 2025 Nebraska football season. You're like, we got these guys. We're going to be all right.
Wow, it really is, isn't it? Yeah.
This is our guy. And so vacationing to Paris, Monaco, Tulum, the French Riviera, maybe it's given him the perspective that he needs. Because I could tell you, it looked like he was having some damn fun on Saturday calling that football game.
The whole
he
team
was juiced.
Looked like they were having fun.
Yes.
It screams a little
Screw all
bit.
these places. I want to go to Yankee Stadium and roll around in the slot for 3.5 hours.
It has a little bit of a vibe of, hey, what if a guy from Mount Pleasant, Iowa fell ass backwards into cash?
Well, you got your answer. What's a place people go? They go to Tulum. He's like, all right, I'll go to Tulum. I'll go to Tulum.
Hey, the wife wants to go. She wants to go somewhere, but she doesn't want to. I can't stay somewhere for 7 days. I gotta go. I gotta hop.
Can you give me like 5?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you go to Atlantis, Jamaica, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, Tulum, and Cancun?
Right.
Love it.
And then you can do another one where you do Napa, Malibu, Salt Lake City, Aspen, throw in a Charleston at the end, and it's a longer one. But yeah. Shout out to Dana Holgerson.
Living life.
He absolutely
Seeing
is.
the world.
Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
Sounds like Dana owns a yacht. I don't think so. I would buy that Dana Holgerson owns a boat of some sort. Not a yacht. I think he rents a yacht when he goes to Monaco.
The wife doesn't want to be bothered.
Alex in Lincoln, can we get Holgo as a guest to talk about this? Honestly, I would love to. I should make that request. I will make that request. I'll say, I'd like to talk to Dana Holgerson on the show. I won't ask about it. Like,
I really don't have football questions.
I don't want this to cause because what happens, little inside baseball, like what happens usually is you get a guy and you get and then all of a sudden there's this long line of people afterwards. It's like, hey, why didn't he have access for me? I want to talk to him. And then he goes on a string of 42 interviews that he didn't ask for.
Dana went on the Zone. You got to let him go on.
Exactly.
Jimmy and Fat Boy in the morning.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. What a show. We should rename this show to that. Is any of your names Jimmy? No.
Nope.
No, it's not.
Anybody fat? Nah, not really.
Medium. So I would say no. You don't have to do that because I don't want to talk about football. I don't want to talk about next year. I don't want to talk about Dylan Raiola. I don't want to talk about Isaiah Hunter. I don't want to talk about Dane Key. I don't want to talk about nothing. I want to talk about Tulum. your time in Tulum.
Atlantis.
Many other locations around the world. All right, that's our first topic. Stay tuned to find out what our second topic is next on 1620 The Zone.
Ring in the season of savings with the Red Tag event happening now at Woodhouse Chevy. Right now, you can save on all remaining 2024 Chevy models. With reliable safety features, the latest technology, and modern designs, you can shop with confidence when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy. Shop all remaining 2024 inventory online or in store at one of our 2 convenient locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One. Week 17 of Monday Night Football will come from Santa Clara with the 49ers hosting the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff and the Lions set a franchise record for wins last week by moving to 13-2. Now they're focused on securing their second straight division title and the top seed in the NFC playoffs. Don't miss any of the action on Monday Night Football.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, so the other ancillary story to the Pinstripe Bowl is the media going to New York for upwards of 72 hours in some cases, and it took almost 0 seconds for them to start making fools of themselves and embarrassments of the state of Nebraska.
Do we know if Sip is he back? Is Sip okay?
Sip is the kind of, yes, I think
Okay.
Sip's good. Like, Sip is the kind of guy to, like, he's going on a work trip. He's there to do work, and he'll go wherever you tell him to go. Right. So I don't think Sip will, he won't like try New York cuisine and be like, this is not for me. Give me mashed potatoes. Like he's not that kind of guy. But all the pictures, and shout out to our great media who was there. All the pictures were hilarious of Nebraska media people in the trenches with Nebraska fans, trying to operate in subways, trying to operate at, taking the same picture of Yankee Stadium over and over and over again. It was also predictable. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it for most of Friday and then all of Saturday and sometimes into Sunday.
Who went to Hard Rock Cafe on Friday?
I'm sure they brought the football team to Times Square. They were doing TikToks in Times Square. Or I don't know if they brought them there, but like they were there. There was a group of them that were there.
They did a walkthrough at Central Park.
They did a walkthrough at Central Park. That's kind of cool. Because then Matt Rule got to look up and say, see that building right there? That's where Ramir Johnson was born. And then Ramir Johnson won the MVP of the Pinstripe Bowl.
That was just a really cool story.
That was. Should we talk about that for a couple minutes? So Ramir Johnson, nobody knew this. Like I checked with multiple people. I thought I was sort of like out of the loop on this. But he really kept it close. He did not want to tell anybody what he was sort of going through during the season. And I haven't really connected the dots back to, all right, when was Ramir like hurt and when was he out and when was like this year? Because obviously he was spending some time back in New York at home with his ailing mother who passed away in November. And he went home in the bye week and and he told Matt Rule, he said, look, I want to finish this out. I want to do this. Right. And Rule's like, God, you got to go. Like, you got to leave the team for a little bit,
go home. It's okay.
Go home. And he stays just like he continued to stay. He just stayed his whole career. He just stayed
11 years.
He just kept staying all the time. And then for him to have that game and specifically that run and the way it happened to finish the game in a one-score game in Nebraska's first bowl game in a decade, in Nebraska's first bowl win in a decade, in his hometown with his family there, and for him to win the MVP, I mean, you can't make that up. That's perfect. It's as good as it gets for an end of a career for for a guy who Nebraska accomplished nothing when he was here. Nothing. I mean, what was their greatest accomplishment in his time here? It's that
Pinstripe Bowl champions.
It's winning the Pinstripe Bowl. He never had a 500 season, never had an above 500 season. Stuck it all the way through until the very end. I think people think about Ramir Johnson. They're like, oh, well, yeah, the Michigan game in 2021. Had a couple great plays in that game. He was dynamic in that game. He spent most of his time injured, a lot of his time injured. And he spent basically none of the time being the top running back during his time here. All of his 6 years here, not being the top running back.
He didn't even have the most yards in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Right. But he was, and I think a lot of that is probably, well, we're going to get it. Like, they wanted to, I know for a fact they wanted to get him the touchdown. They got him a touchdown. Mm-hmm. But then, the circumstances in which he gets the ball with the game on the line on fourth down, first of all the circumstances to get there, including Dylan Raiola's slide. We're going to talk, don't worry, we'll talk about the football part.
We'll get there
in a couple minutes. But, all of that stuff to lead to the 4th and 1. And then he gets the first down, he runs over a guy. And, does that carry go to Dante Dowdell if Dante Dowdell is not in the transfer portal? I think so. It's a power run. You're saying Dante, go run over a guy and get 1 yard.
Gotta have it situation.
And in this case, it's Ramir Johnson. So all of it to lead up to that was pretty special.
And
really cool.
In the post game, Matt Rule going, you don't need to be talking to me. You need to be talking to Raw Mir.
As all the green confetti is stuck all over his face.
14!
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was really good. And then the post game to tell the story and everything like that. Cool part.
Incredibly cool.
That and of course the media. Let's make a joke about tomorrow.
I'm here. I'm gonna get a New York slice.
Get a New York slice. Here's my official take on New York pizza. I don't think it's actually that all it's cracked up to be. Shut up. Who said that, by the way? Somebody said that, and it was Robin. He redeemed himself. Robin,
New York Giants fan, Robin Washington.
Robin was like, well, I just had some New York pizza. I had been kind of lukewarm on this, I didn't really know what to think. I didn't think it was the best thing in the world. And then I finally had it. Or I had this pizza, and I was totally wrong. And I'm like, wow, Robin, you have spent your entire life being an idiot all the way up until this point, and now you've totally redeemed yourself. So congratulations to you. So hilarity ensued as Nebraska played a football game at Yankee Stadium. All right, we will come back. We will discuss that football game at Yankee Stadium, what it means, how they did it, and plenty more. Mike Schaefer will join us at the bottom of the hour. It's a live edition of the Connor Happer Show, and we'll take a call too coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting for the holidays.
As we gather together, Host Coffee connects family and friends at this special time of year. May the holiday season bring you joy and the new year offer hope and happiness. Happy holidays and season's greetings from Host Coffee.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is roasting for the holidays for you.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. And it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. We'll still have plenty on the discourse.
You're going to have to be more specific. Which discourse?
The discourse, Josh. We got a text. Before we take a phone call, we get a text that says this. Heard in a crossover this morning. Oh, really? What this played this morning? Interesting. It's from the week before the spring game. Mike Schaefer said 7 wins isn't enough. Would you have any interest in bringing this up with him today? I have lots of interest in that. Yes. I will hold Mike Schaefer to the fire on his takes. On his preseason
Some of
takes.
us said 7 wins would be the number.
Some of us said 8. I said 8. I got real confident after I got back from paternity leave. All right, let's take a phone call here. This is College Boy Ron. Hello, College Boy Ron.
What's up, Pat?
What's cracking? What's going on?
Hey, long time, first time. Just want to say love y'all boys and the work y'all do. It's amazing to listen to y'all and crack up. I told Josh I was gonna. Anytime. I told Josh I was gonna say this. Much like a rap video on Saturday, I love what I saw out of the tight end position. I thought Lindy flashed. I thought Heine was just a physical specimen out there, and I even liked what I saw from Fedoni. I was really impressed with that position on Saturday. So I wanted to shout out that position, show them some love. And one other thing, V9 is a heat-seeking missile.
Oh, yeah.
V9 is a animal out there. He's taking people's heads off left and right.
Love it, College Boy Ron. Good shout-outs.
Thank you. Much love, y'all, and Happy New Year. And go Birds, because I'm also an Eagles fan.
Okay.
Go Birds all day. Say about to set the record.
All right. See you later. That's College Boy Ron. Kenny Pickett Kenny Pickett kind of died too.
Yeah.
Is Kenny Pickett okay? Or is it going to be Tanner McKee? A.J. Brown threw that ball into the stands.
He did.
I got to get that back for you.
I like that so little was happening in that game that Fox had to follow the ball.
You have to. You have to. I honestly want, and they were showing Kenny Pickett, keeled over on the sideline because he got hit. Because he's a string bean and he exploded into smithereens.
That's right.
They were showing him the entire time, and while Tanner McKee is making his NFL debut, and they didn't tell us who it was until after the play that he came in. It's like, this is Tanner McKee. I believe that's former Mike Riley to Nebraska recruit Tanner McKee.
Whoa.
He ended up at Stanford. But anyway, shout out to the tight ends and shout out to Vincent Shavers from College Boy Ron.
Yeah.
Vincent Shavers looked like he made like the freshman to sophomore year jump, but he did it during his freshman year technically. Or I guess he did it in purgatory time because it's really purgatory time.
Is it like at the end of during the basketball tournament where, oh, well, that's a freshman guard. Well, no, it's not a freshman guard anymore.
So people say that, and I know we spend a lot of time making fun of those certain things that we say, the tournament's about guard play and, all that stuff. But that is real. By the end of your freshman year, you should look like a different person.
I mean, you've played 35 games at that point. Yeah, I get it.
I would say that Vincent Shavers kind of made that jump on Saturday for Nebraska, who won the Pinstripe Bowl. Okay, so let's talk about football for a second.
Let's
start it with Dylan Raiola. So Dylan Raiola was fine in the game, right? I think he was fine. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do on the first throw, or the first interception. Once again, they got to get on the same page. Everybody's got to get on the same page there, and that was he tossed. I mean, they threw a lot of balls downfield, which was honestly really nice to see. I continue to be confident in the Dana Holgorsen Dylan Raiola connection going forward. But here's what I want to focus on with Dylan. It's that last drive. It's that last series when he slides late, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Slid late. Nebraska got a break. They got the penalty thrown on top of it. Bill O'Brien was going to eat somebody's head after that.
He was big mad.
He was extremely mad. But Dylan Raiola gets up and first of all, he had chosen to pull the ball. It's a zone read play. He pulls it. He runs. He slides. He gets hit. He gets up. He starts jawing at the guy.
I like it.
At least stood over his face. See, I didn't like it at the time. I'm like, dude, all right. You slid late, and now you're trying to get up in his face for like it smelled like fake tough guy to me.
Okay.
And then I thought about it some more.
Which we've suspected Nebraska of being
Yes.
at times
They have
this
some
season.
and I think Dylan has a little bit of that to him. And you know, Dylan, he runs around the stadium after the game and he's celebrating with everybody. So all this is in context, right? And he also pulls it on another play and he slid early before the third down or before the first down marker. Nebraska had to convert a fourth down to ultimately end up winning the game. But he pulls it twice and he shows a little bit of emotion, a lot of emotion. And then I watch these side cuts of Dana Holgerson on the sideline, and he is jacked. He is arms swinging, fist bound, like letting out big screams. It was just kind of one of those games, right, on Saturday. And it got a little chippy.
It did. A lot of these bowl games have.
It was muddy. It was wet. It was like it was just going to take grit.
It was nasty,
right? It was nasty. It was really a disgusting football game. But Nebraska won it, and they won it specifically the way that they won it, right? With the same script that has been followed 5,000 times. Get up, have control, have a ridiculous special teams thing happen, and then lose. Because what happens on that drive 75 times out of 80 times? I don't know why I picked those two numbers. 75 times out of 80 times, Nebraska throws an interception on that drive. They turn it over, and then Boston College goes down, and they win it. We've seen the script. It's happened a million times. But Dylan Raiola says enough is enough. I'm going to pull it twice, and then we're going to get the first down out of sheer will and effort on 4th and 1. And I thought that was different. And then I pair that along with, like I said, the sort of the edge that Nebraska had in that game. There was a sense that, and this is in context of the game too, because they had control. They were up 20-2. They were up 20-2.
Yeah,
they should have been up 1 billion to nothing.
Right.
I mean, they were in control of the game.
It was
right. They were way better than Boston College was.
It was the closest blowout you'll ever see.
Right. They were way better than Boston College. And so obviously they're leaning a little bit on the confidence that they have from showing throughout the entire 60 minutes before that they have been the better team. So there's that. You get you glean confidence from those moments. But how they reacted in those moments was a little bit different. When Nebraska played Iowa just a few weeks ago, or more than a month ago now, which is sort of hard to believe, like Nebraska has control of that game. They're playing way better than Iowa. They just straight up are better than Iowa. You could glean anything you want from that. And yet they still crap their pants down the stretch. That has a lot to do with Iowa and how much better of a football team they are than Boston College, of course. But I felt like that was a real, like, we talked over and over and over again in the month leading up to this game. Does it matter? Does it not matter? Do you take anything from it? And I would have said no. It's a game that exists in purgatory. It's neither 2024 or 2025. But the way that they won it, I don't know, that made me feel nice. And maybe that's it. Because we don't have to do this thing like, oh, it's a springboard for 2020. No, we don't have to do that. But it made me feel nice because, admit it, if they would have thrown a pick or fumbled on that last drive and Boston College goes down and beats Nebraska in a game where it's just basically the Iowa game on repeat in the Pinstripe Bowl against Boston College, we're having full-blown meltdowns today. Yeah. We would have had to been off on the air.
The audience needs us.
Yeah, right. So, I don't know. I thought that there was something in that from a team perspective. And Dylan Raiola constantly took heat this year for being nonchalant. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. He was in the big red overreaction montage. You know that Dylan Raiola, he's kind of nonchalant. You know what I mean? He just doesn't seem like he's totally in it, and then you could say, oh, well, does he care? And he's making $1 million or whatever it might be, and he's whatever. He's a 5-star. He's had the whole world handed to him. But in those moments, he's screaming and yelling. He's leading. He's pulling the football. He's saying, "Give it to me." He's getting in guys' faces. He's doing victory laps around the stadium. That's a bonding thing. However it might look to the outside, all that matters is that team understands that it's, I think that did a lot for Dylan Raiola in the context of his own locker room.
Oh, Golden Boy's going to mix it up? Mm-hmm. Okay, then if he's willing to get in there and mix,
you want to fight this guy now? Now I gotta fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Before the last 5 minutes of that game, it felt cathartic for a lot of different reasons, and with the way the game ended, it felt even more cathartic. Just felt like a lot of guys were getting a lot of things off their chest and their backs, and just going out there and having it looked like a lot of fun.
They did.
Playing football.
It did.
Until the unpleasantness at the end, but Nebraska still held on, and even that speaks to something.
So here's another piece of this. Alan writes in on the text line.
Hi, Alan.
Actually, Nebraska tried to turn it over on the last drive when Fedoni fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, that's another staple of things that happen in games like this. They got a break. I have never seen the ball bounce like that. The ball bounced like a basketball from Thomas Fedoni's waist to the ground, right back into his hands. How is that possible?
They got a break in that aspect, and they got a break from officials.
The officials.
Yeah.
Right? Because they would have, if they would have, first of all, I mean, if he would have lost the fumble, and then they would have reviewed it, it would have been an incomplete pass, and then they would have needed that. And then if they review it and they recover it, then they would have called that on the field. Like, it would have been bad either way. So they get breaks kind of all across the board too. That goes into what I was saying earlier, just about the team, and they broke the trend. It broke the course of what these games had been. And I think they've won one other one-score game this year, right? They won the Rutgers game 14-7,
which was another game where it's like, okay, they're kind of really handling their opponent, but the scoreboard does not indicate that.
Yeah. But it didn't really feel like there was much to take away. It was like, thank God we're okay.
Okay. What was it, 14-7 or something like that?
Because their defense, and Mitch wrote about this today in The Athletic, Nebraska's offense was on the field when it was winning time, and they did it. Nebraska's defense has gotten them some wins over the last, in these one-score games, right? Their defense has to get a stop, and they ultimately do. But Nebraska's offense needed to go down, and they needed to get a few first downs and finish it that way, and it did. I think there is something in there. It doesn't have to. Once again, it doesn't have to be like, oh, what does this mean for 2025, and is this a springboard? No, but I mean, it's only positive. First of all, that you won the game, and then all the stuff that I just said about Dylan Raiola. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. But I do think it's a step for Dylan in his leadership role. Like, we talked about some college boy Ron called in, and
that's right, CBR
talked about Vincent Shavers, and that's the case for all the freshmen.
D9.
Those guys are going to be trusted now next year to take on, to carry on the culture or whatever it might be from this team, the stuff that they like about this team, the stuff that they like about the seniors, not necessarily the burden and the baggage of screwing up late in games and stuff like that, but the good pieces of what they brought to the table, which was still a lot at the end of the day.
What did Dan say that Dylan said in the production meeting? We're coming out. We're going to try and win the Pinstripe Bowl and then never be here again.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, mission accomplished.
Well, yeah, time will tell.
Yeah.
Maybe next year they'll go to the Detroit Poop Bowl.
That was an exciting game. I don't know why you have to poo-poo it.
I would have been so sad if Nebraska was in that game. I don't know why the Pinstripe Bowl is even any better. It's not. It's not. I guess it's later.
Yankee Stadium or Ford Field?
Yankee Stadium, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's the other thing that
they saw the Rockettes, Connor. You can't do that at the Detroit Poop Bowl.
So I guess I guess the Yankees, so this is the Yankees, right? They're playing at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
The Yankees orchestrated some sort of like press conference with representatives from both the Boston College side and the Nebraska side, like an hour before the game started. And it was basically just to talk about how good of hosts the Yankees have been.
Classic.
Shout out to the Yankees.
Hey, could you just say how great it was being here?
Asian Joe says Pinstripe Bowl greater than Fenway Bowl. Yep. At least at that bowl, there wasn't a big foul pole in the middle of the main broadcast view.
That game started at 10 a.m. Central. Too early.
Yeah. And it was won by UConn.
In decisive fashion.
Over Bill Belichick's North Carolina Tar Heels.
That's
but
right.
not really.
Not yet. And now Jim Moore
I like how he couldn't have been
threatening everyone.
He couldn't have been further away, actually, from the Wasabi Fenway Bowl.
Not that wasabi, a different wasabi.
Is it a different wasabi? So it's not just wasabi?
No, it's a computer tech company.
Oh, well, damn it. I was hoping that it was just wasabi.
It's not like, hey, here's a bunch of wasabi peas.
Big wasabi. No, like wasabi, like the green stuff.
Yeah.
So that was not the sponsor of the bowl game?
No.
That's stupid. I thought they were giving out wasabi to everybody.
No, there was not just heaps of green goo in their player backpacks for the prize pack.
They got the nice the stuff from Bad Boy. I don't know what the players got from Bad Boy Mowers.
Did they get a mower, a riding lawnmower that cost $8 million?
Did you see the DJ?
The DJ? No.
So this was by far the weirdest part of the game. When they're coming back from commercial break and all of a sudden they're like, the sideline reporter, Dawn Davenport, she's getting a lot of run on the show. Shout out to Dawn. She is on a riding lawnmower. She's like strapped to it.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere on the field at Yankee Stadium that's not like the playing field, not the football field.
Sure.
And there's also a DJ who has a DJ booth on the riding lawnmower. And they're like strapped to each other like they're about to jump out of an airplane. And she's like behind him, like holding the mic in front of his face. And he's like, what do you think? And you didn't see that part?
No.
Oh man, you must have watched the quick the BTN and 60 tape.
I did start it late, so I did fast forward through the commercials. So I might have missed a return like that.
Oh yeah, you missed that.
Wow. See, these weirdo bowl games that do it right, like the Mayo Bowl and the Pop-Tart Bowl, have forced the other bowl games like, hey, you got to do something weird and quirky too. What are you going to do? But like the people who do we're just not creative types. I don't know. Ride a lawnmower during the game. I don't know.
But we only have so much that we can do with this. Bad Boy Mowers.
There's 6 inches of water everywhere. We can't really ride a lawnmower through this.
I'm sure they used Bad Boy Mowers branded like blowers and suckers, to get all the water off the field before the game.
Also, does Yankee Stadium not have a drainage system?
Probably not prepared for
that much.
And that temperature and
sure.
I don't know. Maybe.
Gets cold in October.
Okay, so the question is, did they do it? Did Nebraska do it? Is the curse over?
The curse? Again, you'll have to be more specific.
You finally won a game where it looked like and felt like it was headed the old direction it always does, and they didn't. They stemmed the tide. They nipped it in the bud. They said no more. And they actually like grabbed it, right? They actually took it.
Right. It wasn't
like, they fell ass backwards into this. Like they did it. Is it over? As Jack Mitchell proclaimed, is the groin kick era over?
Well, how did he rule before I make my ruling?
I don't know. I assume he's going to be on the afternoon show today. So
yeah, sure. What the hell? It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
Why not?
Ron writes in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, Ron.
Subject line, Poop Bowl. Connor, you're forgetting Dylan's dad played in the Detroit Poop Bowl, and that would be cool to see. That's been our promo for a long time.
Something we say today is going to replace that. I promise you, America.
You think?
Yes.
That's a lot of pressure.
Well,
have I already said it?
It doesn't have to be anything good. It just has to be something.
Let's try and make our promo right now.
Oh, okay.
What do we I mean, we could make something out of the Dana Holgerson trip
to Atlantis.
Dana Holgerson, he went to a fake place.
Did he recover the Titanic on one of his many vacations?
Yep. Or should we do like a serious Nebraska football? Like, hey man, I think there's something to be said for how they did it.
If you walk into a movie studio with the Ramir Johnson script, they're going to laugh you out of the building. That's beautiful. That's why we watch sports. That story right there, Ramir Johnson.
There's your promo. Probably not enough. You need more.
You need 20 seconds. How long do you think I went for there?
You probably went about 8 to 10. So I could give you 10. You still put this part before. And how about Ramir Johnson? MVP of the Pinstripe Bowl. He has the game-winning carry. He has a touchdown in the game. And then you could just like edit yourself in right there.
Boom.
There you go. Promo done.
All right. I'm ready to take 2 days off.
All right. We have plenty to come here on the Connor Happer show today. We will talk about special teams and how everybody needs to be fired. Matt Rule said after the game there will be a complete overhaul. What do you think that means? I have some ideas.
Okay.
We'll talk about that during the show. College football and its narratives. Creighton, Colorado. It's like it's 2024 again. Oh, wait, it still is. Still is.
For one last show.
Jack John writes in.
Hi, Jack John.
Old man Jack John is tired of Pop-Tarts and gummy bears in football. Make bowl games great again. Get off my lawn.
Oh, bowl games have been great this year.
So you want him to be brought to you by like Microsoft or like
Kellogg's.
Apple. You just want big brands.
Okay.
I think that's what Jack John's talking about.
I can understand
or
that.
Maybe Jack John wants to go back to like, well, what did the Pop-Tarts Bowl used to be? It used to be, didn't that used to be like the Champ Sports Bowl?
I think so. I'm headed that way. Pop-Tarts Bowl, Blockbuster Bowl, Micron PC Bowl, CarQuest Bowl, Champ Sports Bowl, Russell Athletic Bowl, Camping World Bowl.
Hey, what happened to the Belk Bowl?
Oh, yeah. What is the Belk Bowl now?
Is Belk Bowl...
that's the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Oh, that's right. Charlotte. Yeah. Okay.
I'm in this weird spot where I like all of the weird things that the Pop-Tarts Bowl does, but I hate the internet's obsession with it.
I'm exactly in that same spot.
That's cool. That's funny. That's very entertaining what you've done there, Pop-Tarts Bowl. The internet is obsessed with it, and I hate...
Yeah, it makes it worse.
I hate people.
100%. We're both kind of like that, where we see people freaking out about one thing. Is like, all right, geez, calm down. It's not that cool. They murdered the Pop-Tart.
They did it last year.
They resurrected the Pop-Tart that died last year, and they put him on top of the scoreboard, and they were doing that Wiz Khalifa song from Fast and the Furious.
A hilarious bit.
It was funny.
Well thought out.
Yep. But we don't need to be talking about the Pop-Tarts Bowl all the time. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they do. I like how they're all in on the stupidity of it. But that's all. All right. Mike Schaefer's coming up next. Mike Schaefer's going on the hot seat. Say, Mike Schaefer, you predicted Nebraska to win 7 games, and you said that winning 7 games wouldn't be enough. Well, they won 7 games. How do you feel now? Mike Schaefer joins next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
What will be each host's age demographics? We used to have to walk uphill both ways in the snow to school.
It would be something about pornography and the speed of the internet.
We only got to see maybe 2 or 3 Nebraska games on TV a year.
Mine would honestly probably be, we used to buy physical video games.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the roofery.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
Here come the Guardians.
Yeah, I have statistics to back up that we have people that listen.
Mike Schaefer.
Anytime there's sort of a debate as to who can do something, Happer would always put his name forth, for sure.
Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I could be a star.
Mike Schaefer of Husker 247 joins us now on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. Hello, Schaefer. How are you?
I'm good. How are we doing today?
Fantastic. Would you like to comment? Would you like to make this Vikings talk? You're free to.
I would like to ask you, since you're a guy who has often done a ranking of NFL teams by tiers, a power ranking of NFL teams by tiers, if I have that correct.
Thank you.
Do you believe that this Minnesota Vikings team can win the NFC?
I now do, yes.
What was it that you needed to see yesterday where they just absolutely and gloriously for 3 quarters took it to the Packers like they had done in Lambeau earlier in the year that you hadn't seen previously?
I think that was the final straw. This had been growing over the last several weeks because there had been a slow but steady realization that Sam Darnold is like good and not like, oh, he's just Sam Darnold and they
you know, they have a good defense and they run like, but Sam Darnold's like legit. And then, so there's that, and they've passed every test this year. So I don't know. It's been a slow but sure realization that they are one of the best teams in the NFL over the last month or so.
Okay. All right.
Does that answer suffice? Does that satisfy you?
No, well, it's not about satisfying me, because obviously when you're a fan of a team, you're just inherently biased. And it was early in the year, like, they smoked the Texans, which now you look at it, you're like, oh, the Texans aren't very good. Well, they played the September Texans, who people thought were going to be a Super Bowl contender. They beat the crap out of the 49ers when all they were missing was Christian McCaffrey, and the Vikings were without players of their own. So it's, you know, like, I had watched this version of this team, and then they only lost 2 games, and they were back-to-back. One of them, they were leading against the Lions. They didn't finish it, and they lost by 2 points. The other one, a Thursday night game, 4 days after losing to the Lions on the road, where you finally are the first team that has to take on Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp when the Rams are healthy. And so it was always frustrating to me, but you come back to it, and it's like it's always about Sam Darnold. Like, it's such a quarterback-driven league that it's always about Sam Darnold, and yet I would submit to you or anybody else that would be skeptical of the Vikings in the NFC, name one quarterback in the NFC that you are 100% sure in a one-game setting against the Vikings would be better than Sam Darnold. And I don't think you can do it.
No.
Because the NFC is a conference where everyone's like a redemption narrative, or they're old and have a broken back like Matt Stafford, or they're Jalen Hurts and you don't really know what to do with them, because some years they're like a top 10 quarterback, and some years you're like, I wouldn't want to be tied to that way.
That's a good point you make about everybody else, because the thing that always, you know, like the basis of what holds people back on Sam Darnold or the Vikings or whatever is, well, okay, I don't believe it until I actually see it. Well, nobody in the NFC is real. I mean, I guess you could throw the Eagles in there, you know, and the Rams, but like you said, it's a different version of both of those teams. But that's always the thing. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I could do it until he's actually done it, because they're in the AFC, there's a bunch of quarterbacks who have done it.
Well, there's really only one who has done it, but yeah, I take your point. Like, if Lamar Jackson was in the NFC, that team would be the favorite right now. If Josh Allen was in the NFC, that team would be the favorite right now. I just think, like, because it's such a quarterback-driven viewpoint, we tend to like look at that exclusively. And yet, I would submit this: I don't think there's a coach or player combination that anyone should feel more confident in than Kevin O'Connell's ability to call plays for Justin Jefferson, who might be the single best NFL player right now. Yeah. And I know that's insane to say, because Josh Allen is amazing and Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But like, what Justin Jefferson can do for a team is incredible. And I know, I get like the numbers aren't as eye-popping as Jamar Chase, but man, that guy, like, he's otherworldly good. I cannot believe that I've gotten to watch Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson on my favorite team. And oh, by the way, they've had like really good wide receivers: Chris Carter, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Anthony Carter, you know, like all of these different people. And they're not even in the class of Jefferson, who might be better than Randy Moss.
So what happens if they beat Detroit and stamp their supremacy as the best team in the NFC, and they get the 1 seed, and then they have a disappointing home playoff loss like immediately? What happens then?
They're just the same old Vikings that they've always.
I figured that would be your answer.
But I think that speaks more to what the NFC is. Like, I think you can make a case that aside from, like, the Commanders are the ones that I would have the hardest time drawing you the path to how I think they could get to a Super Bowl. Every other team in the NFC, and yes, even the Packers, who I enjoy making fun of, but they could all win that conference. Like, it would not shock me. I know this is going to be hard for people to hear. It wouldn't shock me at all if Baker Mayfield dragged that Bucs team to a Super Bowl.
Not even a little bit. I
promise you, the team I don't want to see, and why it's imperative to me that the Vikings win that game, I don't want to see Minnesota go to Tampa if they have to be, if they're the 5 and Tampa's the 4. I don't want to have to figure out how they're going to stop Mike Evans or Baker Mayfield. If you look at, other than that weird, inexplicable loss to Cooper Rush, every other loss that the Bucs have, they're like the really good teams, or to, when the 49ers had Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Like, they have played a gauntlet of a schedule. They're the only team in the league that's beaten both the Lions and the Eagles, and they're in the same conference. And they did it in back-to-back weeks, I'm pretty sure, in September. And so, I want nothing to do with the Bucs. And so then your other options are, okay, if you're the 5 seed, then you have to potentially travel. If it plays this way, you'd have to go to play the Rams. Oh, cool. You got to try to figure out how to cover Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, stop Kyron Williams, and hope that you can get enough pressure on Matthew Stafford, or just try to outscore them in a game where you can't make any mistakes. So, even if I think the Vikings are the best team in the NFC, and I think it's by a slim margin over the Lions because the Lions' injuries have decimated that defense, it's not like I'm salivating at any of these matchups. All of these teams are terrifying to me. Conversely, you look in the AFC and it's like, all right, Bills, yes. Ravens, yes. Chiefs, yes. Everything else, trash.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It would be very difficult to see any other than one of those 3 teams come out of the AFC. That's for sure. And well, I don't know. I've said this all year, but it feels like we're headed straight down the path of the Chiefs winning a whole bunch of 1-point games and getting to the Super Bowl again. Yeah.
I fully expect the Chiefs to win the AFC. I fully expect everyone to kind of grumble while they do it. And yet you look up and it's like, if they do that, they'll have played, 19 games and have been 18-1. They're not a fun hang.
No.
They're very good at what they do. And you'd have to really sell yourself to talk yourself into either the Ravens or the Bills winning on the road in Arrowhead in a championship game. I don't think I can do it. I really can't.
Well, I can't wait to discuss this throughout the next month. Whatever it ends up being for you, Schaefer, I wish you good luck, because a year ago you were having the meltdown about the Lions being good and you not being happy for anybody. So that was fun. So we're going to get some good stuff out of this.
I was having a meltdown of being told that you have to feel good about the Lions. I don't care about the city of Detroit. I don't have to feel good about the Lions. Here's what I can tell you. Congratulations to the Lions. You're having a franchise impressive record season. And guess what? Sam Darnold in 1 year is doing the same exact thing. Hooray for you. Let's throw a damn parade for Detroit.
Schaefer, this interview is going to come back and bite you potentially very soon.
When haven't they? I don't care.
All right. Speaking of interviews biting you. So there was a texter, and I wasn't listening to this morning. There was old crossovers that were playing. And you were not, this was not the only place you said this, but apparently on one of these crossovers, you proclaimed that it would be a disappointment if Nebraska won just 7 games this year. And look at what they did. They won exactly 7 games. And it took them a 13th game to win that 7th game. So what say you now about Nebraska's season?
It is a disappointment. I think multiple things can be true. I think they can have taken a step forward as a program. I think that they can have erased the idea that they haven't had a winning season in the last few years, that they haven't played in a bowl game. I think all of that can be true, and yet I can look at the 2024 season and call it underachieving based on what their schedule was, the talent that they have on their roster, and their inability to finish football games. So for me, I don't have to backtrack on any of that, because I viewed this as a team that was capable of winning 9 football games in a regular season. They didn't do it. I was probably over my skis on that. Obviously, I was based on actual results. So I do think sometimes, it's hard to know exactly how everything is gonna play out when you're making your predictions in August. I still think Nebraska had the roster of a 9-win team. They didn't do it. And some of that is on coaching. Some of that is on playing. It's a combination of those things. So for me, I wouldn't sit here and call this season a success, but you also have to look at what transpired. They had a lot of adversity that they were able to overcome in the month of November. I truly believe that if they had finished off the Iowa game, we would have a different feeling about how all of this is going.
Yes.
But because they gave that game away, obviously it doesn't feel as good. Now, they went and they had a 20-2 lead against Boston College, and they couldn't finish that game without having some pickups. So a lot of it for me is they took a step forward as a program. That's great. It wasn't as big of a step as I thought that they were able to take. So how do I, as an analyst, or whatever the hell we call ourselves, how do I look at this next year, and what do I determine success is going to be? Because for me, if I already thought they should have been a 9-win program, Now I kind of need to see them prove that they have the talent, which I think they do. They have a roster of players that should be able to go out and play in the schedule that they have, and they should be able to win close games. They should be able to put teams away, in addition to all the other stuff that you want to micro discuss about this team. So, like, for me, I don't know how I'm going to characterize what a successful season is going to be in 2025. But if they go win 8 games, I'm going to guess that it's not going to be good enough for me or for some segment of the fan base at large. For other people, yeah, it's a positive step in the right direction. You have 8 wins and only 5 losses, whatever it is. I think this is a team that needs to be playing in the upper third of the Big Ten. I think this is a team that needs to be able to put away its opponents when they are up in the fourth quarter. I think this is a team that shouldn't have the worst special teams operation in the history of college football, and it shouldn't have to watch that every week and then say, all right, well, we're going to get it better, and then never do. So I can't sit here and call this a success. I can tell you that, you know, it's probably more of a relief than it is a success for anybody that either watched the team, plays for the team, coaches the team, because they managed to accomplish a hurdle. It wasn't the biggest hurdle. They didn't win the race, but they achieved something. So there is that. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here and call 7-6 a success. I'm not going to, you know, drum up a parade or whatever it is that we want to do for it. So the reality is they won 7 games. They lost 6. They have a long way to go to where they want to be. I think they're having a solid off season right now. I have no idea how we're going to have any feel for this team until they play against Cincinnati. I have no idea how we're going to feel good about what the special teams are until you're midway through, you know, Big Ten conference play. But it's December 30th, so we can have all of those conversations leading up to August next year.
I want to start with the offense. Seeing what you've seen and what's going to be there for 2025, meaning coaches and now new players, having the additions that they've had, a couple really important portal additions. They still need some more, especially along the offensive line. Do you believe that they are in a situation where they are going to have the ability to get the offense right next year? Because that was, I mean, when you look at it in a grand scale, that is absolutely one of the things that held them back over the last 2 years. Can they not just be good enough on offense? Can they be good in 2025?
Yeah, and I think there's, you know, 2 primary factors in that. None of them have to do with the offensive line explicitly, but they obviously work in conjunction with it. It's Dana Holgorsen and Dylan Raiola. I mean, those are the 2 biggest people for your 2025 season. We can have every conversation about John Butler. We can have every conversation about special teams. We can talk about offensive linemen from the transfer portal. Dana Holgorsen has to put together an offense that Dylan Raiola can excel in. Dylan Raiola has to take steps forward. And I think that he will. I mean, I really don't have a lot of questions about what his development is going to look like, because I think Nebraska's done a pretty good job of already lining up some wide receivers to put in front of him. I think we've already seen a different version of Dylan Raiola than what we saw in the middle of the season. Certainly much closer to the guy that was, you know, just able to kind of rifle passes in those games early in September. So I believe in that infrastructure and those 2 guys, but they're the critical ones. I mean, so how and what Dana chooses to put together, you know, for his game plans and what he wants to focus on, and then, you know, how Dylan Raiola is able to take the next step forward, start hitting some of those deep throws, you know, eliminate some of the turnovers. I mean, that's a big thing. If he could be more like the guy we saw in September or the Wisconsin game, if you will, and less like what we saw in October, I think Nebraska could have won a lot more games this year.
No doubt.
I really think that. And I think that ability's out there.
All right, Schaefer, we'll let you go. Appreciate it as always. Thanks for doing this today. It's a very weird day. It's sort of much like the bowl game. This is it's a purgatory sort of day. It just goes. So appreciate you chopping it up for a few minutes. And we'll see you very soon, correct?
Yeah, and I told Josh I might try to put something together for a crossover to start the year off right. We'll see.
Oh, that's Thursday when we come back, and then we'll be seeing each other this weekend as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. We have a mutual friend who cares about the Bruins very, very much.
Yeah, and then potentially, I'm still still working on some confirmation for this for you, but potentially even Sunday there could be a Happer and Schaefer conversation somewhere.
We would love to know so we can actually make our weekend plans. So that seems like something that they might want to let people know on that.
Yeah, I'm told that the marketing department at the university does not choose who is in the baby race at the women's basketball game. It is the sponsor, so I'm working on that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
All right, Schaefer. Talk to you soon.
All right. Yeah.
Mike Schaefer, Husker 247. And yes, he's entered his child into the baby race. Unclear if Hudson's been selected yet. This is at the women's basketball game on Sunday.
What do they got to do? Grind the tape?
I have no idea what they must. I mean, they obviously get a lot of entries, I'm sure.
Okay.
And I don't know who it's sponsored by, but there will be a baby race. And Hudson has thrown his name into the ring. Will he be selected? Unclear. Working on confirmation on that.
Got to start him younger and younger, specializing the skill.
I'm excited to call my first baby race on Sunday.
Wow.
Assuming that I get that. I get the ability to do that.
Who's coming to town?
I believe it's the Penn State Lady Lions.
Lady Lions.
People forget. They call them the Lady Lions.
Still.
Nebraska men's basketball is randomly playing a game tonight.
Oh.
Not in Hawaii, not in the tournament, not against anybody significant, but at home against Southern.
This is the
Southern. This is the rando game. Yes.
Well,
the
hot off the heels of the Diamond Head Championship.
That's right. I don't know. We should look for a history on what Diamond Head Classic champions have done in their previous years.
That would have been something to look at.
I could put that together during the break.
Okay.
We'll come back with the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One. Week 17 of Monday Night Football will come from Santa Clara, with the 49ers hosting the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff and the Lions set a franchise record for wins last week by moving to 13-2. Now they're focused on securing their second straight division title and the top seed in the NFC playoffs. Don't miss any of the action on Monday Night Football.
If it's the NFL, it's on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Wow. So, looking at the history of winners of the
prestigious
Diamond Head Classic, the answers may surprise you. Should we just do it now? I mean,
yeah, why not?
Time is a construct today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, winners of the Diamond Head Classic and what has happened to them. I was able to accomplish every year since 2015.
Okay.
All
Good sample size.
Go back several Diamond Head Classics. Nebraska won it this year. We don't know what will happen to them. Nevada won it last year.
People forget.
They went to the NCAA tournament. They were a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament last year.
Nice.
Hawaii, the home team.
Hometown team.
They won it in 2022. They beat SMU. They did not make the NCAA tournament, but they did win 22 games.
Oh, wow. Okay.
2021, there was not a championship game, but they played the rest of the tournament, and it was set to be Stanford versus Vanderbilt, but it was canceled because of COVID in the Stanford program, and they just gave the trophy to Vanderbilt.
All right.
I don't have any information on Vanderbilt because I felt as if that did not actually count.
COVID cost 2 ACC teams titles.
Well,
NC State and Stanford.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Wow.
Stanford, ACC member.
2020, there was no tournament because of COVID.
Of course.
So we go back to 2019. Houston. That was, of course, the year the NCAA tournament got canceled, but they won they won 20 plus games. They were on pace to be a 2 or a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. It was Houston. 2018, TCU. They were a 1 seed in the NIT.
Oh, okay.
Which they in an NIT run, which they beat both Nebraska and Creighton.
Whoa, hello.
USC 2017. Benny Boatwright was the MVP of the tournament. USC was also an NIT 1 seed. Diamond Head Classic winner. And then in 2016, San Diego State won. They did not go to the NCAA tournament. They won 19 games that year, though. 2015, this is my last year that I looked it up. Oklahoma won. Oklahoma went to the Final Four in 2015-16.
Of the NIT?
Of the NCAA tournament.
Oh.
Before getting absolutely smoked by Villanova. I mean, crushed.
SEC teams love getting their ass beat in the postseason.
I
folks?
I don't even remember, because we remember the game that happened after that, which was the North Carolina buzzer beater.
Yes, I remember that.
That was, and the most famous one of the most famous NCAA tournament games of all time, the 2016 national final. I did not remember at all that they beat Oklahoma by 44 points in the national semifinal. Don't remember that at all.
No. Why would you?
I remember them beating KU to get to the Final Four, Nova. But Oklahoma that year, Diamond Head Classic winners.
Okay.
Shout out to the Diamond Head Classic.
This could be you, Nebraska.
Could be. I don't know what you take from that. You're either going to be an NIT 1 seed or barely make the NCAA tournament. Works for me. I think Nebraska could take that.
Sure.
All right. Odd news. What do we got?
Well, real quickly, I had pulled the Will Ferrell returns as Buddy the Elf story.
Crap. I'm sorry.
And it's okay. It's okay. If you weren't listening earlier, Will Ferrell was seen at last night's LA Kings game smoking a cigarette dressed as Buddy the Elf.
That's right.
When the FanDuel Sports Network found him and said, "Hey, what's the bit here?" He said it's been a hard holiday season and he's looking for a Kings win.
Why is he always doing a bit?
Well,
he's always doing a bit.
Maybe he feels like that's the only way people will love him.
No, people will love Will Ferrell just if he's Will Ferrell.
I would agree that you
but
are
what
enough,
is Will Ferrell?
Ooh. Now, there's an existential question.
Which Will Ferrell character is Will Ferrell most closely associated with?
Ooh.
Or I shouldn't say associated with, because that just depends on what your favorite movie is. But which character does he most identify with?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Frank the Tank?
I think maybe at one time it was. I don't think anymore.
Is it the dad / coach in
Kicking and Screaming?
Kicking and Screaming?
Now that might be closer, right?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Is it Buddy the Elf? That would just be weird.
Is it Sherlock Holmes?
Is it Sherlock Holmes? Is it Brennan from Step Brothers? It could be any of those.
I want to know what Will Smith produces. I want his
Will
acting
Ferrell.
resume.
Yeah.
Sorry. Is it the Mattel CEO from Barbie?
Oh, he was funny in that.
He was.
I forgot. That was a small part in that movie.
Let's get this out of the way early because we don't know what the rest of the week's going to bring. You never know. Truck spill of the week.
Oh, hell yeah.
We go to Minnesota.
But it's pretty icy up there.
I think it would be.
Trucks are spilling.
6,400 gallons of this liquid spilled onto the roadway, County Road 40, Christmas morning.
Eggnog.
Close.
Wine.
Further away.
What is close to eggnog?
Yeah.
Milk?
That's right, Connor.
Okay.
You nailed it.
All right. Santa, what are you up to?
Christmas morning, 6,400 gallons of milk spilled onto a Minnesota County road. The driver, identified as Josh Colzer, 24 years young.
Identified as?
No relation. He said the trailer
Was this
tires,
alleged? The alleged truck spill? Yeah. Allegedly.
The tires got too close to the shoulder and it started to sink onto that softer surface, and then the vehicle just kind of tipped over from there.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out on those county roads. They'll get you.
By the way, a couple more Will Ferrell entries.
Oh, yes, please.
Platte Cat, Jackie Moon.
Is Will Ferrell most like Jackie Moon?
I don't know how we make this a poll question because there's too many options.
Mm-hmm.
Austin.
Hi, Austin.
Host of Blue Jay Shoot Around. Austin.
Tomorrow at 1:30.
Will Ferrell is 100% remembered for his leading role in the film Megamind. There's a gif of him with a flip phone. I've never seen that before. I've never seen Megamind.
Is he Dr. Rick Marshall from my son's favorite Will Ferrell movie, Land of the Lost?
Never heard of that.
Because there's a dinosaur in it. Child's very on brand.
Yeah, he likes what he likes.
Chaz Michaels from Blades of Glory.
Oh, good one. Yeah, good one. Jeff, when I think of Will Ferrell, I think of his small role on Wedding Crashers. Mom, we love.
A role which that character's name was also Chaz. He's played two different Chazes.
What does he do? I'm paragliding. Oh, I'm dead. Idiot.
What an idiot. I don't know what she does in there.
What is she doing in there? I don't know what she does. That's 100% of the lines he has in that movie are memorable.
And I tell this story and no one believes me. We went and saw Wedding Crashers opening night. As a shadowy figure is walking down the stairs, I blurted out, "That's got to be Will Ferrell."
Nice.
And sure enough, it
Great
was.
job by you.
Yeah.
One text, Will Ferrell, definitely Mugatu from Zoolander. Is he more Mugatu than anything else?
So hot right now.
All right. Keep sending your
I'm taking crazy pills.
Will Ferrell parts, I guess.
Finally, we end the odd news in Colorado today, where after a man caused a 3-car crash, police found him to be 4 times the legal limit.
Ouch.
When they asked Matthew Campman.
Oh my God. We're getting more Will Ferrell parts, and they're all funny.
They are.
Feds from Austin Powers and Ashley Schaefer from Ashley Schaefer BMW and Eastbound and Down.
Great.
Can feel it down in my plums.
Great part. The 34-year-old.
Let the boy watch. One of the greatest lines in history. How did he keep it together? I have no idea.
Not just him, everyone around him.
But have you seen the outtakes from that scene?
I have.
I mean, they are unbelievable.
Unhinged.
How does he do it? How does he come up with it?
I don't know.
Let the boy watch.
My plums. 34-year-old Denver resident Matthew Campman, after causing a 3-car crash 4 times the legal limit, officers found him and were like, "Hey, what the hell? Are you high?"
Yeah.
And he said, No drugs, just a lot of drinking. That's not all.
He fessed up.
He would go on to explain himself. The police officer who filled out the report says, quote, "Matthew then told me that he was a professional drinker."
Oh.
He later described himself as a professional alcoholic. He said he consumed 10 drinks that evening. Numerous empty Jim Beam shooters were recovered from his pants pocket.
Well, he might not have been telling the truth about that part, but at least he fessed up. He wasn't like, "Hey, excuse me, I'm not. I had one beer."
The other guy, it was his fault.
Yeah. What is that? I wonder if there's any police officers listening, if you've ever conducted a DUI arrest. When they say that they've had one beer, what is that equivalent to?
What number do you automatically up that to?
Like that's got to be at least 4, right? And I just had 1. He had 4. So if they said they had 2, does that mean they had 8?
Oh.
They said they had 3 beers. They're probably getting close to not being able to drive in the first place. And then you've had a dozen beers. I had 3. I'd like to know what the conversion rate is on that.
Excellent question by you.
Also, the Lego movie. Will Ferrell was in the Lego movie.
President Business
In the Lego movie. So which Will Ferrell? I'm not asking which Will Ferrell is your Will Ferrell, although I'm really enjoying talking about the Will Ferrell parts. I'm asking which Will Ferrell is Will Ferrell. I feel like we don't know him. We don't know him as a man.
It's a little sad.
It is. But he's given us so much joy and laughter.
He has.
And a lot of it from Ashley Schaefer of Ashley Schaefer BMW. What a callback. What a show. All right. We're back. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
Should we do I Have an Opinion? I haven't really asked for anybody's opinions. You guys got opinions? Send them in. We can do as many opinions as we get.
If it works out, it works out.
Well, should we offer the Creighton tickets?
That would be 2 birds with 1 stone. Yes.
We're all about that on this show. All right. So we're going to play a little bit of an impromptu version of I Have an Opinion coming up next. And then Josh will judge your opinions at the end of whenever we end this segment. And then the winner, as judged by Josh Odson, will receive 4 tickets to the Creighton game tomorrow.
And you said lower bowl earlier.
It is in the lower bowl. I can confirm. I know exactly where the seats are. It's not one of those things like, they just gave me 4 tickets. No, I got them. I'm gonna be the person sending them to you.
Wow, no middleman.
No middleman at all. Straight from the spigot.
Because the middleman is on vacation. I'm not sure why we're not, but to each their own.
That's okay. So have an opinion and then state it.
Pretty simple.
And you could win Creighton tickets. Coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Talking Connor.
The Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Odson on 1620 The Zone.
Hi, how are you?
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
How would you like to finally lose all those unwanted pounds quickly without spending thousands on painful injections or prescriptions?
This is the I Have an Opinion song. Haven't done an intro yet. Need to get on that.
Yeah. That's right.
What
It's
a banger.
Time for I Have an Opinion. Surprise.
It's not Wednesday at noon. It's Monday at noon.
There will be no Wednesday at noon.
That's right.
Wednesday at noon, you'll be watching football.
And you'll be like, damn, it's 2:30. I missed I Have an Opinion. You're going to want to wish you did it now.
What will you be doing Wednesday at noon? Wednesday at noon. The first game on Wednesday is the Texas game, right?
I believe so, yes. Texas, Arizona State.
Wednesday at noon, you'll be all excited to watch Arizona State and Cam Scatterbo, whatever, and Kenny Dillingham and his crazy ass take it to Texas. And then by the end of when this segment would normally be ending, you'll be like, I'm not so sure that's going to happen anymore. Maybe. I don't know. I actually think, quick preview, Arizona State has, of the double-digit underdogs, I like, which is just two. It's them and Boise. I like ASU better than Boise.
Too as well.
Is that not saying much? Sorry, I didn't have an opinion.
No, spoiler alert for later.
You think they're going to beat Texas?
Tune in and find out.
I kind of think that too. I can't wait to talk about the stupid idiot narratives too. It's going to be so funny. Anyway, this is I Have an Opinion. So you send in an opinion, and then Josh deems it to be good, and then you're going to go to the Creighton game tomorrow if you want to. And if you don't want to, I'm sorry. We're still giving you the tickets.
We're forcing them upon you.
John tweets in.
Hi, John.
The commissioner of his fantasy football league, his team is called Let the Boy Watch. But that is not what I'm most amazed. I don't know what kind of scoring system you're on here, because that team scored 46 points at the time of this photo and was only projected for 57. What happened to that team?
The team.
A whole fantasy team.
Seems low. You're not doing PPR?
It's very low. I don't know what kind of scoring system they're on, but you ain't going to win nothing with 57 points.
Rudy on Twitter has responded.
What's up, Rudy?
I hope it's a pseudonym.
Rudy.
He responds as a officer of the law.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Oh, good.
I don't do traffic enforcement in my current position, but back when I would make DUI arrests, quote unquote, 2 beers was the most popular response.
100%.
If I heard that, I knew they were going to be north of 0.15. One beer was typically an honest response and meant they were just a bad driver.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That's really good. Of course, don't drink any beers and drive ever.
That's right.
We need to say that. But
good catch by you.
It's curious about those conversations. All right, we got a few opinions here, Josh. I got them on Twitter. I got a couple on Twitter. I got a couple on the text line. You can text in. Still the 42 Degrees Source hotline.
42 degrees.
By your mom's house.
Of course, you know it. You love it.
The text line brought to you by J Tech Construction, and that's Twitter, and the email inbox, the Equitable Bank inbox, or you can leave a YouTube comment. It's all there. Josh, what do we got?
Joel kicks us off on the Twitter feed.
Okay.
I have an opinion. We need more consumer brand sponsored bowl games instead of corporate data storage companies and garbage. Bring back the Outback Bowl. Make the Fiesta Bowl sponsored by Tostitos because that actually makes sense.
Okay, but I think part of the fun that we had this year was the stupidity of all the games, and then the added stupidity that they were all brought to you by companies that you have never and will never hear of.
Remember the Battle Frog Fiesta Bowl?
Yes. Remember the Game Above Sports Bowl?
That's the Detroit Poop Bowl.
Nobody knows what Game Above Sports is, but that was the best bowl game we've had.
I watched that game, and I still don't know what they do.
No idea.
Not a clue.
Is it some sort of... I have no idea. Is it an app? I'm sure it has an app.
Sure.
So I think, if you want these good games, and if you want the stupidity that the bowl season has to offer you in these meaningless games, because they're still meaningless. You can't convince me that they mean anything.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean I don't want them to happen. I say, why not just go ahead and rip off the dumbest sponsors you could think of? I'm sure all those companies are great companies, and they're putting all of their effort and time and probably marketing budget into bringing this bowl game to us and putting all of their, putting everything into it.
Scooter's Coffee Frisco Bowl, I was locked in.
Absolutely. I would rather have it be that than the PlayStation Bowl.
Even bad example, but I know what Scooter's Coffee is. I know what Scooter's Coffee does.
Yeah.
Even if I don't live by a Scooter's, I know what it is they do. I can assess that.
Did we ever have a bowl that was brought to you by Best Buy?
Seemed like such a logical partner, but I don't know that we ever did.
I know. Best Buy, people still go to Best Buy. Did you know that, Josh?
My family,
people love Best Buy.
Not me, I was working, but my family took an outing to Best Buy over the holiday week.
People still love Best Buy. There's something about going to the tech store or the tech part of Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't know. I might disagree with you, Joel. I might disagree.
Okay.
Bring me the weirdo sponsors.
I guess I like that there's both, right?
Because you don't get the Pop-Tarts without having the Pop-Tarts,
The Hawaii Bowl does not have a sponsor. The sponsor is Hawaii.
It's just Hawaii.
The Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
A couple opinions about the holidays here. We'll start it off from Brian. I have an opinion. As I get older and my kids have grown, Christmas is more of a hassle than a celebration. Trying to get gifts, visit everyone, and make everyone happy is more work than it's worth. We've decided that from now on, we'll be taking a vacation over the holidays and skipping the gifts.
Wow. Nice job by you.
Ooh. I get the hassle of it all. I understand that. You can tell me that, and that makes sense.
Christmas is a hassle for literally everyone.
Now, to spin that forward and go, I will take no part in this. I will go to Atlantis with Dana Holgerson,
which is a real place.
That feels like a step too far.
No, I did. I mean, do whatever you want. But I want to more Who is this? Who wrote this?
This is Brian.
Brian, congratulations on. Or unless you're breaking news to your family right now, congratulations on convincing everybody that we're doing our. Unfortunately, you are never going to get out of the presents thing. That's always there's always a version of that, right? But if you decide to just pick up and leave during the holidays, and nobody can come see you, and you don't have to go anywhere else, then. Nice job by you.
Yeah.
I mean, you figured it out. You figured out a very expensive and still hassle-some like shortcut here. Like, I mean, is it not a hassle to take your family on a plane trip somewhere? Kind of still is.
Yeah. It sounds like the family's not going with Brian. Sounds like Brian has a +1 to,
Brian's just leaving
to Cabo
Yeah.
with Dana Holgerson.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with the sentiment. Like it's a hassle that everybody just deals with at this point.
Douglas offers an opinion on the holidays as well.
Douglas.
I have an opinion. I throw away 75% of the Christmas cookies people give my family when we hit January. They all taste the same by then anyway. Please stop the Christmas cookie madness. Instead, give me a meat and cheese tray, buffalo wings, or beer. The world will be a better place.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't eat the buffalo wings, then
right away.
Yeah, you're gonna have to eat the buffalo wings.
I'm not gonna reheat them.
And you know another thing that I don't want to eat at Christmas time?
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo wings. I want to, like, unless you're trading out the meal for buffalo wings, which you're not.
No.
Nobody has the guts to do that. Nobody has the balls to say, you know what? Enough with the prime rib, enough with the mashed potatoes, enough with the whatever. It's time for chicken wings.
I've gotten 200 of them, different flavors, spread across the
It doesn't matter. You could do it as nicely as you could do it the most gourmet way you've ever thought of.
No.
It's not. You can't do that. Nobody can do that. You can't do that. So you're doing it as in replacement of a dessert. I can tell you one thing. I don't want any more food after Christmas, is Christmas dinner, Christmas lunch, whatever you have.
Yeah,
I don't want food for days.
Don't give me food.
I don't want to look at food.
No.
So, I don't know, man. Like the cookies have their, like, you're not eating the cookies. I'd rather not eat the cookies than not eat the buffalo wings. Right?
Yeah.
Whole question, which food would you rather not eat? Christmas cookies or buffalo chicken wings? The answer is simple, although the question is very confusing.
What's on the text line?
Oh, I got a few. Alan.
Hi, Alan.
I have an opinion. When talking about whipped cream, Dream Whip is far superior to Cool Whip. Alan, I'll have to take your word on that one. I don't know what Dream Whip is.
Okay. I like, this appears to be served in a box.
A box of whip?
Boxed? We're boxing our whip now? This is from the fine folks at Kraft. It is a dessert topping mix. Ready in 4 minutes, it says.
I don't like either of them for the record, but all right.
Give me some Cool Whip.
I got a text here from Pedro that I'll have to censor a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Not like in a vulgarity. I just can't read some of it. I might just skip it entirely because it might start a conversation that I don't really want to start on the air.
Now, keep in mind,
Pedro,
audience, we have quite literally all the time in the world today.
It's a good text. It's a good text. John.
Hi, John.
I have an opinion. Having your 3-year-old grandson wake you at 4 a.m. instead of his mother is not an ideal situation, especially when you and not she has to get up for work.
Oh, wow. That's a double whammy.
Yeah.
I got the grandkid.
Grandpa, wake up. But you're like, kid, I have to go to work. Wake up your mom. Your mom doesn't have to go to work.
I'm taking you in out of the goodness of my heart.
Yeah.
And what have you done as a thank you? You've woken me up at 4 a.m.
I never thought about that. I never really thought about the burden of being a grandfather.
It can be a burden.
You would know, Josh.
What?
I don't know. You saying that like you had some experience.
No.
All right. Why not Hoiberg? I have an opinion. The Vikings would be stupid to move on from Darnold in favor of McCarthy. It's the ultimate Family Guy boat mystery box situation. I don't know what that means. Sam Darnold won 14 games, but JJ McCarthy could be anything. He could even win 14 games.
All right. You have
no, you definitely are they is that a talking point?
Oh,
they
yes.
can't do that. They can't get rid of Darnold.
Spent a lot of draft equity on
No,
JJ McCarthy.
Who cares?
I agree.
You have the answer to your question.
You're also going to have to play the result a little bit of what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football.
You're not
Vikings Lions. Winner is the 1 seed. Loser is the 5 seed.
If they were,
it's incredible.
If they tossed out Sam Darnold and were like, "All right, yep, JJ, we made a promise to you. You're our starting quarterback next year," that would be the stupidest thing anyone has ever seen.
Or if they try and lowball him, like someone's going to say, "Here's $40 million, Sam."
That's stupid. Don't do that. Mustache Adam.
Hi, Mustache.
I have an opinion. The entire country should just shut down between Christmas and New Year's. This is similar along the lines of what Pedro said that in a text that I did not read.
Okay.
It makes zero sense to try and be functional during such a lawless, timeless period of the year or to make people use PTO.
Preach.
Luckily, vacation is a construct here.
Yes.
So just days.
I love
Days.
the take, though, Mustache Adam.
Yes. Me too. Nobody cares about anything.
Apparently, everyone else in the building feels that way, too.
I was amazed when I was driving to work this morning that how many people were out.
Oh,
there was cars on the road.
A lot of out and abouters.
I mean, maybe they were returning stuff to Target,
Sure.
but
That's on the list. Got to do that this week.
you got to make your returns.
Yeah.
But people were out. I don't know. I'd be chilling on my couch right now. I'd be doing nothing.
I would love to be chilling on my couch right now.
Sam writes in, but
Hi, Sam.
then I'd have no Connor Happer show today. You'd have a bunch of crossovers.
It's a service we provide to you.
Yeah,
And if we could
do it for you guys.
if we could do some good segments so we could rerun them on New Year's Day, that'd be great.
Oh, do we need that?
I might need them.
Oh, come on.
Would love the Dan Patrick show to play like it's supposed to.
Oh, gotcha. Computers they don't work apparently.
It used to be you could just open up a pot on this board and some show from some part of the world would play.
Tony writes in.
Hi, Tony.
I have an opinion. Young Dylon is so advanced, he has already gone through his sophomore slump midway through his freshman season.
Oh. Now that's an interesting way to look at it.
He's cured. He's already done it. Now he's a junior.
I'd just really like to see him throw for like 400 yards one day or something.
I think you could make the case to me that he had his freshman and sophomore season during his freshman season. I think more than like how old people are or how much experience he has, I think it's important that he has Dana Holgorsen as his offensive coordinator. As Schaefer said earlier, I think that's probably the most important.
A good learning tree to sit under.
I would not have wanted to go into 2025 the way it was at the beginning of this season as far as the coaching staff set up.
I imagine
would not have felt good about that.
They can also trade vacation notes. Son of an NFL player,
Think
I
Dylon's
imagine,
going to Tulum?
has probably been some places. Oh yeah, what part of London did you go to? Oh yeah, West End. Yeah, good place. Been there.
You think Dylan's a worldly young fella? I mean, he has lived in a lot of places.
Yeah, I do.
I like how they introduced him. They introduced him in the Pinstripe Bowl. They said, the young freshman from Georgia is like, where's he from?
Yeah, but where's he like?
Where's he from? Where is he from?
What hospital was he born at?
Well, he would have been born in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Right? That would have happened about the time his dad was in the NFL.
I would think so. Born May of 2005. Now May.
Okay, back home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's born in Hawaii. Maybe he's born at the Diamond Head Classic.
Raiola was born May 9th, 2005 in Hawaii.
There you go. Who won the 2005 Diamond Head Classic? Didn't exist.
Oh, really?
Didn't exist.
I didn't know that.
Sad. Diamond Head Classic went into came up in 2009 for the first time.
Okay.
Let's see. We had a couple more here. Sindelar.
Hi, Alex.
I have an opinion. The best of crossovers should be heavily marketed as an intro to 1620 for those who don't listen and deserves more production value. Josh.
What do you?
Producer?
Not my baby.
Interesting.
You know what happens when someone tries to touch another man's baby.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Bad things?
All hell breaks loose.
All right.
And you get video clips sent to you about what's happening when you're not there.
Yeah, Josh, we never talk about that. That week you were gone. Oh, my. Oh, my.
A lot of freewheeling going on.
Well, a lot of freewheeling. But I agree. I love it was really cool. I had no idea what was playing. It would have been nice actually to know like what was playing at what time, like a schedule. That
like
would
ahead of time?
That would have been sweet.
And we do put them in chronological order for the audience.
That's nice, but I still have no context as to what was going. But it was cool to parachute in for 5 to 7 minutes at a time and just what were we saying and trying to figure out what day it was and all of that stuff.
I was doing some shopping and go, I can't go in. We're about to start the jerky eating contest.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty funny, and we enjoyed doing them. And maybe we'll have another one that Josh can play if the Dan Patrick Show doesn't run this afternoon.
Would love for some fresh content.
John, at a follow-up, this is the grandfather who woke up in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
As a follow-up, the grandson woke up with a poopy diaper. Poopy diapers.
That's a trifecta.
Yeah.
You're in my house. It's 4 a.m.
And I have to change you?
And you've crapped yourself.
And the kid is clearly, the kid is 3.
Ooh.
And so grandma and grandpa are way over
Mhm.
I need to spend every second with you.
Okay.
At that point, right?
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. Trouble. Micah.
Hi, Micah.
I have an opinion.
Micah Parsons has many opinions.
Says the defrost or defrost/feet option is stupid. Why can't I warm my hands/body and defrost at the same time?
Okay.
So you're saying, so you know how you do like in your car, you could do defrost or you could do feet and then defrost. The heat is on your feet and then
the window defrosts.
There's no, I think he's complaining that there's no foot defroster. Is this what he's saying? The defrost/feet option only is stupid. Why can't I warm my hands/body and defrost at the same time? Oh, so he wants to be able to.
He wants 3.
Do constant warm heat and defrost.
Mm-hmm. He wants that window defrosting. He wants it.
I think it's going to get
the
warm.
hot air coming at him.
It's going to get warm in the car.
Yeah. Heat rises, so it starts at your feet and it goes up.
So what does it actually do to defrost? How does air work?
Not a clue. Do you know how air works? Poll question.
I think we've already done that for this year, actually. What is it? Does it put cool air on your windshield?
No, that cannot be possible.
Yeah, but it can't put warm air. If you put more warm air on the windshield.
That's how you defrost. You're defrosting.
Yeah, but what you're doing by defrosting is you're trying to defog. Really, it's really a defogger.
Yes.
So I would imagine that it puts cooler air. Because the reason why your windows fog up in your car is because your car is cold on the outside, and then your warm body gets in the car, and then it starts fogging things up.
Defrost mode melts frost and snow from the windshield, back glass, and side windows of a vehicle. It uses the vehicle's heating and ventilation system to blow hot, dry air at the windows. Some cars have a rear defroster that uses electricity to heat the rear window.
Wow. Would you look at that? I just know that with remote start these days, I just turn on my car and I don't even have to scrape my windshield.
You don't have to think about it.
It's awesome. It's fantastic. Great text by Micah. Thank you. Mike in Columbus.
Hi, Mike in Columbus.
I have an opinion. Wow. What? I don't. Should I read this? I don't know what this is. I have an opinion. Lazy Boy. Oh, I get it. Lazy Boy recliners should have to change their name because Lazy Boy, saying Lazy Boy is sexist. It should be Lazy Person.
Lazy Person. Okay.
What do you think?
Maybe just lazy recliner.
Lazy.
The laziest name possible.
Yeah.
We shortened it.
It's definitely more general that way.
Mhm.
Yeah. I disagree. I think you could still say lazy boy.
I think people.
Trump got elected.
Yeah, it's just locker room talk.
You could say lazy boy, lazy girl, lazy woman, lazy man. All of them. All right. Anything else? Lazy them, lazy they.
Lazy they.
All right. Our top 5 poll questions of the month of December are coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we have more great content to bring you. Thank you for playing. And Josh will just tell me who won, and then I will send that person tickets to the Creighton game tomorrow.
It's pretty simple. Low maintenance here.
You could expect Creighton tickets if you're a winner into your inbox by 2:40 this afternoon.
Wow. Okay.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He has the latest sports news, expert analysis, award-winning commentary, and a pocket full of cabbage.
Can you give us an indication why?
Just in case there's a sauerkraut emergency.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, help us figure this out. So Thursday when we come back after our 2 days off, which people have problems with.
A lot of problems.
By the way, I love the drunk email from Bad Takes Doug was incredible to receive over the break, by the way.
More people should email us when they're drunk.
Maybe, because we've gotten some before. But me, John, and Josh received an email a week ago tonight from Bad Takes Doug, who, or a week ago this afternoon, actually. And he was complaining about how we weren't on the air. Wasn't happy about it. And
Gosh, that was just the first day of our vacation.
And then Josh was like, nice to hear from you. And then Bad Takes Doug was like, sorry, I was at a Christmas party. You know, I love what you guys do.
No need to apologize.
No, I loved it. It was great. But anyway, help us figure this out. So when we return on Thursday, it will be the anniversary of our show beginning. January 2nd, 2022 is when this show began. Yes? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
January 2nd, 2022. It will be January 2nd, 2025 when we do the show on Thursday, and we'll grunt the slate. What does that mean for us? What will is it our third anniversary? Because we would have completed 3 years of doing the show.
I always tell people we're starting year 4.
Yeah, we should get credit.
Yeah.
For doing the 3 years prior to.
Did all of 22? Did all of 23? Did all of 24?
As long as it's clear that we've accomplished 3 years, congrats on 3 years.
If we say we're turning 3,
that's not true though, right?
Right.
We'd be turning 4, but there's only 3 years in between. How does it work?
What do we tell people?
How old are we?
Are we turning 3 or are we turning 4? Now, I guess we would have turned 1 in January of 23.
Yeah. We did a year.
Yeah. We would have been, oh, hey, welcome to the College World Series. God. This is our 6-month show.
I guess it'd be only our third. It feels like we've been doing this longer, though.
This show, Connor Happer Show, has been on the air longer than the Schick and Nick show.
Oh, yeah, by a long shot now, right?
Yeah.
We're killing that. Killing that thing. Where's Nick Baugh drops?
We got him.
There we go.
Splash.
See? Take that. Splash.
Stick that in your CPAPy.
We got a phone call. 42 degrees. The source. The hotline.
By your mom's house.
By your mom's house. Here's Nebraska ball, Mike. Mike, great to hear from you. Happy holidays. How are you?
Happy holidays. Thank you for being on the air, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Troy Dannon. I don't have construction money. I don't have Buffett money. Your biggest job right now is to make sure that Fred Hoiberg has a contract on his desk before the year is out.
Wow.
Nebraska basketball hasn't been very good for a while. And I know where he came from. Nobody cared. I've been a Nebraska basketball fan for 30 years. There have been people in my generation waiting for a long time to be this consistent. That's your biggest job. Football game was cute. New York Stock Exchange was cute. But unless you get Fred Hoiberg into a deal, you fail.
Now,
that's the bottom line. You got to do this, and you got to do it quick.
Mike, I have some news for you. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Talk to me.
So before Dannon was hired, there was an interim athletic director, and he did a bunch of things that just were like easy layups. Dennis LeBlanc, he's the academic advisor, the top academic advisor. He gave Fred Hoiberg an extension when he was the...
How long's the extension?
Through the 2028-2029 season.
Okay.
Would you like to go
I
longer?
don't have to freak out anymore.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you didn't want to go longer than that.
In Hawaii, they said he was been here for 6 years, and I went, oh crap.
I know. Yeah. Well, they got him on a new. He won Big Ten Coach of the Year last year.
Okay.
They gave him an extension. They gave him a raise, and Fred's all taken care of.
Okay.
You got your Christmas wish.
Now, the second thing is, if UCLA is coming, which they are, which is absolutely insane, Bill Walton, God rest his soul, was not walking through that door.
Whoa. Are you calling your shot?
Through that door. We need 15,000 people Wednesday night or whenever they show up here.
Saturday.
So we play basketball too.
It's going to be, hey, that's a big game. Mike, yeah, I mean, they need to get that thing loaded up for Saturday for sure.
I have no, I know they're good, but does Vegas have a clue right now?
Yeah, they usually do. What is there a spread that you've seen on this? Well,
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Ken Palm is saying
no. It'd be way too early for a line.
Ken Palm is saying Nebraska loses by 1.
Okay, crowd can make up for that.
They can.
You hear it is.
It's alumni weekend.
PBA audience.
Oh,
show up.
Yeah. I'm with you, Mike. Let's go.
Okay. You have a good New Year, and I'll keep listening.
All right, thanks, Mike. Happy to alleviate those concerns as well.
Big Fox.
Fred Hoiberg did get an extension. He's been locked up.
It's funny. He was
really passionate about.
He was
that.
really, and I was kind of like,
I was like, wait, didn't they do something? Yes, they did.
I'm the Nebraska ball hater, and I'm kind of like, yeah, Mike's right.
Yeah, they gave him an extension. They announced this immediately after the season. So immediately after Trev leaves, right? Like right before the tournament starts. And remember, he's at Texas A&M, and then they play Texas A&M, and that whole thing happened. So right after that happened, Dennis LeBlanc's like, I'm still the interim. Troy Danon's not here yet. How about an extension? Isn't that what the last interim AD did when didn't they give an extension to Bolt? So this is like before Trev. Was it who was the interim?
That sounds right.
Who was the interim in between Moose and Trev? Because it wasn't Dave Remington, right? Unless that was Dave Remington.
Oh wow, yeah, that happened. I forgot.
Was
about
that the Dave Remington interim? I'd have to check this out. 2017. No, is that before Trev? No, Remington was the AD, was the interim in between Eichhorst and Moose. Who got interim tag in between Moose and Trev? That is your guys' job on the stream and on the text line and on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline today.
Oh, interims are not listed on
no,
the Wikipedia
because you're going to
page.
say it. You're
Yeah.
going to say it, and I'm going to be like, yes,
Of
it
course.
was. Who was it?
Idiot.
Who was it?
And then you Google interim AD Nebraska, and just Dennis LeBlanc comes up.
Black Cat writes in.
Hi, Black Cat.
The basketball fan not knowing their own coach has a contract or when they play games is incredible.
Look,
but hey,
nobody knows what day it is right now. Nobody. We're all just
true.
We're all walking through a fog. Okay,
That's true.
I'm going to allow it.
Saturday should be. I mean that thing will be off the hook on Saturday.
Big Fox.
Yeah.
Ranked UCLA team coming to town.
They need that. Get that win. Get that big win.
Noon on Saturday. This is right in the middle of the day.
It's a huge game.
This isn't like at 9 o'clock at night when throw something on.
It's a huge game.
Yeah.
Mick Cronin
and them boys.
It's finally working. They're finally. Here's the scary thing, and we're about to talk about this with the Blue Jays here in a couple minutes as well. Well, actually, we might not even talk about them today, but like just a little. I get concerned when our local basketball teams who are a little, let's say, non-explosive. I get a little concerned when they play against teams that are able to turn you over and put a lot of pressure on you. UCLA, St. John's, they're athletic as hell. They're going to put a lot of pressure on you. They're going to guard you for a long way. They're going to turn you over. Nebraska's been generally safe with the basketball this year. Creighton has not been. So I get a little concerned when they play teams like that. But anyway, it is indeed a big game for Nebraska on Saturday. It'll be loaded up at PBA. Loaded up.
Gotta load that thing up.
Yep. Be good. Okay. That was a segment. Thank you, Mike, for calling in.
Mission accomplished.
Happy to alleviate your concerns about Fred's contract. Also, still haven't found out who that interim athletic director was. Maybe I'll check that out during the break.
The answer's out there.
It's there. It exists somewhere. All right. We'll be back. The top 5 poll questions of the month of December, of which Josh wasn't here for a week, and we barely did any poll questions, and then we were both gone for a week.
Yeah.
So
not a lot to choose from.
Better have had some good stuff in between about the 1st and the 13th.
I like our list.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Coach Prime has tweeted. Thank you, Coach Prime. Colorado, I was told they won their bowl game convincingly. Is this true? They must have made the playoff.
No,
They didn't win their bowl game or make the playoff?
No, sadly.
That's weird.
They won the playoff of life.
Coach Prime has a tweet. It will be multiple idiots, all caps, that will say things that totally aren't true regarding where I would like Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh Sanders to play in the NFL. At NFL. If I say it, I will say it directly to whom it may concern, not an attention seeker. I do know at NFL Commish, Roger Goodell, personally, mic drop. Now, I don't think you can mic drop yourself. What do you think?
I would vote no.
You can have a great statement, which I don't think that was really one, but you could have a really great statement and end all of the rumors or innuendo or the conversation or whatever it might be. And it could be a mic drop situation, but I don't think you can say mic drop to yourself.
No, it's like giving yourself a nickname. Someone has to say it for you.
Yes. So that's what Coach Prime's up to.
Also, what was he trying to say there?
I think he was saying that he must be. It sounded like he was insinuating that there are some rumors about where Coach Prime wants his sons to play.
Oh,
in the NFL.
We will definitely hear Shedeur will not play for the following teams.
But he's saying he's not doing that.
Okay,
he's not saying that.
But if he does say
it, he will say it to the commissioner.
And
that will matter. And he knows him personally. Mic drop.
All right.
Also, Brett writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Brett.
It was indeed the interim athletic director between Bill Moose and Trev Alberts was Garrett Classy. And I was trying to figure out who Garrett Classy gave a random extension to, but I couldn't quite find it. But he was the name that we were looking for. Nice job, Brett. All right, Josh, top 5 poll questions of the month of December. This is going to be slim pickings.
You have not remembered a single one of these.
No.
So let's revisit number 5.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Oh, I forgot to write the dates down.
That's okay.
Yeah. Before we begin, I guess, most voted on poll question of the month.
Yeah.
Abolish daylight savings.
Oh, boy.
66.9% of the audience, might as well call it 67%, said yes, get rid of the damn thing.
Yeah. That opened up that was one of the days you were not here, I believe.
Right. I don't remember it. I believe
that opened up some conversations that I didn't want to have.
I believe friend of the show, Sam, is still tweeting.
He's tweeting about a lot of things.
About daylight savings.
I think he's still tweeting about like the early 90s Packers, too.
Yeah, sure. Well, glory days.
Something like that.
Most lopsided poll question. So we have a new young in the building.
Yes, our tiny baby boy.
Roaming the halls. We love having Matt here with us. But he mentioned he had never bought shoes for himself before. You know, when you're growing up, your parents say, here, but have the shoes, kid.
I guess.
Have you ever bought shoes? 93% of our very adult audience said yes. Yes, I have bought shoes for myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it'd be more.
That leads us to number 5, top 5 poll questions of the month of December. I was also gone for this one, but I still like it. Should Connor comment pancakes to access the cinnamon roll pancake recipe?
Yeah.
Now you were on.
So I had a whole thing one day about how I was pissed because during a break I saw an Instagram reel and they were like, check out these cinnamon roll pancakes. I can't give you the recipe unless you comment pancakes.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
It wasn't like a link in bio thing.
Right.
It was like you have to comment pancakes.
According to the algo or whatever, if I put too much text in this post, it won't pop up as much. So you got to ask me for the recipe.
Yeah, and then it had over 3,000 comments that people that just said pancakes. There's no way that each of those people got the recipe in their DMs.
Well, when you ask, when a post has so many comments, it also boosts the post.
Of course.
Of course.
You asked me for the recipe. You did not, right? You did not ask for the recipe.
No, God, no. I would never comment on an Instagram. Why would I do that?
Sure, that makes sense, actually. Top 5 poll questions of the month of December, number 4.
Number 4.
Good God, there's no one in the building. Why are we trying to heat it so much?
It is hot.
I sat on that as long as I could. I'm sorry. I know the audience hates when we do things like that, but whatever. Do you know what margarine is?
Oh, great question.
76% of the audience said yes.
Once again, you guys didn't get the spirit of it.
Nobody was there to help us.
Everyone knows.
We were asking what margarine
Everyone has heard of margarine, of course.
That's not what we're asking.
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you the question. What's margarine? And then what's your response? It's margarine.
It's a butter substitute.
That's what I'm asking. You. What is it?
What are the molecules?
Think about it. Just think about it.
What's it made of?
What is it? Good question. Still don't have the answer to it.
No. There's some oil or something? I don't know.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
I don't remember.
It's getting hotter.
It is. Now that we said it. I don't remember the context of this. I'm going to assume it's from the odd news. Is stealing a car a crime of passion?
I don't know the context of that either.
71.5% of the audience said no, stealing a car is not a crime of passion.
It's possible that, that was like an odd news story. It was it definitely came from that. But that was like the person's alibi. It's like, I didn't mean to steal this car. And that was kind of their way out.
Working backwards, that's also the most logical way to go, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It could have been anything, though. I don't remember it at all.
Top 5 poll questions of the month of December, number 2.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
You know, we're a lifestyle show.
Oh, by the way, Coach Prime has another tweet.
Oh, is it good?
They've already started the lying and positioning, but they forgot, I got time today. Yeah, you got time today, all right, because you're not preparing for nothing.
Yeah, you're not playing.
Okay. Anyway.
We're a lifestyle show. It's not just about sports. We try to teach you something.
That's right.
Maybe how to get in with the ladies too, you know?
We do that.
We do. Do chicks dig conditional formatting?
Good poll question.
We found out that both of our wives, in fact, love conditional formatting.
I think they love what how the spreadsheets make us feel.
I think
they like the version of us spreadsheeting.
I think my wife was just excited that, wow, he's organized and he's doing something.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
I think my wife likes how excited I get when I get a spreadsheet to work.
She loves the joy, the light in your eyes.
Yeah. It's like a kid on Christmas.
54% of the audience said yes, chicks dig conditional formatting. We heard from many quote unquote chicks that said yes.
Many chicks.
This is true.
Many chicks.
Which leads us to number 1, the top poll question for the month of December. What could it have been? There were only like 9 to choose from. No, there were more than that, though.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
Bum, 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 bum.
Are you a human study on the long-term effects of eating the McRib?
Josh Hudson is.
I am. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're
definitely
hungry,
not for the sake of science.
That's right. 68% of the audience said no. I am not a human study on the long-term effects of eating the McRib.
I'm not either. They could study me in a comparison to a generally unhealthy person who does eat the McRib because I don't, and then we could find out what a person like me and what they would be like and what the McRib would do to them.
Now, I've already had my McRib for the season.
Really?
I thought about getting another one Saturday night.
So it's back right now?
Yes, right now, as we speak.
Wow.
You could get the McRib. You could be eating a McRib right now.
Sounds like a good crossover.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, the boys eat a McRib. Could play that again on Wednesday.
McRib taste test.
Yeah.
Because
it's good.
I'll bet I'll bet John's the only one that's had a McRib before.
No.
No?
No. I bet they all have had a McRib.
No way Josh Peterson has had a McRib.
I bet Josh Peterson has had a McRib.
I don't know.
Poll question. Put him up there.
All right.
Do you think at Josh Tweederson has had a McRib?
He's going to be tempted to answer this right away.
Yeah. Well, send him a message and say, don't.
Like, he can retweet it. That's fine.
Yeah. Do not comment on this.
Do you think Josh Tweederson has ever had a McRib? Yes or no?
Coach Prime is tweeting.
He's got time today.
And he's tweeting at fake account. Like, so Wesley Steinberg, it's a fake. I think this person like previously said that Daboll got fired and like all this just New York related stuff. So it says Wesley is an NFL and NY Giants insider. It's a fake account, but it has a check mark. It's verified.
So
right?
It's real.
Coach Prime. So Wesley Steinberg, the fake account, tweeted this. Breaking. Shedeur Sanders has no interest in playing for the Browns or the Titans.
Oh, come on, man.
This could have major NFL draft implications. Shedeur's father, Dion, will demand his son goes to a big market team with good infrastructure for a young quarterback. It's fake. Completely fake. Then there's a DM from Coach Prime of himself, Coach Prime, in Wesley Steinberg, a fake person's DMs, saying, stop lying and have some class and professionalism about yourself, my man. This is hilarious. And then Dion also tweeted a picture of himself smiling. Retweet. Immediate. Coming up next, we'll have a chat with Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. We'll ask him about his time in New York. Next on 1620 The Zone.
right, welcome back. 1 o'clock hour of the Happer Show, the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. We're live. It's real. We're here. Sam McKewon is also here, returned from New York. Hello, Sam. How are you?
I'm all right. What's going on?
Well, we're going to play a game of are you lying or are you telling the truth in your lead? Were you really lost on the subway in New York City?
Yes, I was.
So you tried to get on the proper train and you missed it, and then you ended up taking a wrong turn. Like how did you end up on the wrong train?
I was on the wrong platform, and so like I went down the stairs. I thought I was going to go up to 168th Street or take that train because I wanted to go to Columbus Circle, which is essentially Central Park. And the train that I wanted was a platform over, and so I ended up taking another train, which went to 23rd Street, which was in the opposite direction. And then when I got off of that train, I was really disoriented, and I got on a different train, which took me up to 54th and Broadway. And when I got all the way up there, it was like one of those stops that must be buried so far into the earth that you have to take like 8 flights of stairs back up to the surface.
Yeah.
And by the end of that walk, because I had these 2 bags with me, it was about 60 pounds. I had jelly legs. So like I was like, oh my God. This is like I'm like,
what have I done?
How many more stairs are there? Anyway. So yeah, that happened.
And
but we're okay.
You ended up in the right place eventually?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to where we needed to be.
You could. If you need cheap entertainment, you could just ride the subway all day long if you really wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that entertainment is waning at best. But we did encounter a band on the way back from the Pinstripe Bowl on Saturday night. We did encounter a band on one of the platforms. That was fun. They were doing cover songs and sounded really good. There's about 100 people around them just listening.
Nice. Well, it felt like we were talking about this a little bit earlier, especially with the way that game finished and Nebraska kind of grabbing it there. There was some emotion at the end, and Ramir Johnson and all the stuff with that. It felt like the bowl experience that Nebraska maybe needed. Just I don't want to go too far with it, giving them momentum or whatever, but like it just felt like they needed to have a sort of cathartic moment and win the football game the way that they did. It felt like all that stuff was necessary for them.
Yeah, and they'll probably look back on the conditions fondly because they won it.
Yeah.
It's one of those experiences that honestly it was not a good playing surface at all. Yankee Stadium's really cool. I mean, it's awesome, but the field is not suited for football. And so, most of the game was spent, watching water pool up around the feet of the players and they'd slide around. It wasn't a very good surface. And so I'm guessing that if Nebraska had lost it, they're like, man, that sucked. That was
right.
That wasn't a fun game to play in. It was whatever. But when you win it, the adversity becomes whatever. So, 25 years from now, they'll basically be saying they were sliding 45 yards down the field.
I mean, they kind of were. They were sliding a long way.
It was, and and whoever put the Yankee Stadium together didn't really get rid of the Notre Dame Army end zone art, and so they kind of painted over it. And the Nebraska end zone looked okay, but the other one didn't. And the obviously the grass was dead, but it also just wasn't. It didn't look like Fenway's field did, and they were trying to blow dry it off. And again, I can't tell you how nice the stadium is. Stadium's first class. I mean, it's really really nice, but the surface was far from ideal. So yeah. I'm sure they loved it though. I'm sure they had a great time, and they walked out of that place going, God, what a great place to come. We don't want to come back again, but what a great place to come on.
No doubt about it. Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald is with us. You wrote about this, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. Special teams was a big topic after the game. The way that Nebraska, almost blew it, had another block, missed had a botched snap on an extra point that turned into 2 points for Boston College. Matt Rule says, yeah, I think we need a complete and total overhaul in that spot. What in that in your mind, what does that mean? Like you immediately your mind goes to the coach, the person who presides over it, but Nebraska special teams have been bad for a long time. What does that mean for this program?
Well, you have to, I think, to chew on and upgrade the level of specialists. I think they've got a better long snapper, although we'll see. I think the punter probably is about as good, probably about what Brian Buccini was. Not bad, but I wouldn't say, one of the best in the country per se. And they're going to have to figure out the return game. And that may be the area where, it doesn't, now that you have unlimited assistant coaches, I don't know what you necessarily want to do with Ed Foley. I don't think he has to go anywhere per se. But he doesn't probably have to go on the road and recruit anymore. There's a bunch of different things that he can do, but they need to figure out the return game. They need better returners. They need better returns. There's a whole bunch of things in there where I just don't think Nebraska is returning the ball the way that they want to return the ball. And then on the punting front, you've got to find a way to get the operation better. I think they feel like they've done that, and moving forward, that should be a little bit better. But yeah, the whole oversight of the thing just isn't very good. And again, Foley's a little different, I think, than a Satterfield or the defensive coordinator, because some of the things that you're game planning, you don't know if you're going to punt for an entire game, and indeed, Nebraska didn't punt for the entire first half, and so there's certain variables that don't come into play. And you have to decide how you want to run your special teams. I think it's incumbent upon the head coach to have a hand in all that. So we'll see where it goes from here. But I think they're going to have to get a lot better there, and it's going to have to take a lot of attention to detail, which I think they already had. And then they have to get really good skill players who are coached hard and coached to be resilient in tough moments.
I was thinking about this too, Sam. Like, do we really know Matt Rule's tendencies in situations where, do we go for it on fourth down, or do we punt, or do we kick a field goal, but it's a long one, or do we go for it, considering what they've had to deal with the last couple of years and them being unsure about the kicking game, unsure about the operation to it, and at times unsure about the punting game as well. They've deployed a lot of fakes. They've done a lot of different things. Like, I think the biggest thing is you want to be who you're trying to be in those situations when the push and pull on aggressive, like, what Dan Campbell's going to do, and that has advantages to it. Do we know what Matt Rule's tendencies are, given that it's been so inconsistent just with the actual people who are doing it?
Yeah, I think he'd love to be aggressive on special teams, and then he's got fakes in his back pocket all the time. So they're willing to do that stuff. I think they want to be aggressive there. I think as it relates to fourth downs, Connor, they'll do what they have to do. I think they attempted 3 in the game, or maybe 4.
Yeah.
So they'll do what they have to do. They had a 4th and 3 at the Boston College, 13, and ran a nice route. Got Emmett Johnson over on what you call kind of a rocket route. Some other people call it a rail route, but that's fine. I don't usually call it that when it's a running back, but whatever. They got him open and they scored a touchdown, and that was sweet. And so, I think he wants to be aggressive, but he definitely wants to be aggressive in special teams. When you're going to be aggressive in the third phase, though, you have to expect that not everything's going to work. So, is the fake field goal run really on Ed Foley? No, it's not.
Right.
Ed Foley's not making that call. That's Matt Rule. And it's Ed Foley's job to have a run and a pass available for a field goal fake. And then there's probably a Rule ask Foley, hey, which do you think we can get here? And Foley may have an opinion, but that's a Rule call. And so, when that play failed, I was like, I don't really get that. How you really thought you were going to score from the 8?
Right.
Just go for fourth down.
Agreed.
I don't really get that. But that's not Foley. So let's say, hey, get rid of Ed Foley. Well, not for that. Because
also,
that wasn't his call.
if you're a bad field goal oration team, what makes you think you're going to be a good fake field goal team?
I'm not sure. That's a great question, and I think that's a very legitimate point. And so, at the end of the day, they're going to do what they're going to do, and they did what they did on that play. I think there's room to grow on special teams. I don't know if they're going to, send Foley out the door. You can reshuffle his duties or do a bunch of different things. And the salary on some level is Nebraska's business. If Ed Foley's got to get paid, he's got to get paid. You're either going to pay him to work or you're not. So I figure if he's in the offices and Matt Rule likes him and he likes Matt Rule and he has value, which I think he does, then I think you probably ought to get something out of it.
Sam, I wanted to ask you before we let you go about the playoff, and it's been the topic of the college football talkers over the last week that we haven't really dug our fingers into much, but just the way that those first round games went, and then how it sets up now for the quarterfinal with all of it, with the conversation, and then how it actually ended up, and what may happen as a result of it, whether it's a change in seating or auto bids or whatever it might be. How do you come away feeling from that first round of games, and as we head into the quarterfinals now?
I think we're probably going to see a reseeding process. They'll go away from the NFL model and they'll go back to the just the rankings that are not related to conference championships. And I think that'll probably be a good thing. I found it notable that ABC, ESPN, and their crew of announcers were kind of grumps in the first round, and I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Whether that was about frustration with the committee and the decisions the committee made in putting teams like Indiana and SMU in, and not Alabama and Miami. I get that. Why they'd be frustrated with that, because those other games would have been more fun games to watch. Let's be honest. But Miami, shot itself in the foot. And so, Miami has no one to blame but themselves. In some ways, Alabama is the same story. And so, I thought they were a little grumpy in the first round. And now we come to this round, and, there's in my opinion, there's 3 really good games, and 2 are knockouts. They're just terrific. And that's the Ohio State and Oregon game, and then the Notre Dame-Georgia game, which the stakes are different because Georgia's playing its backup quarterback. I think that's going to be a lot of fun in the Sugar Bowl. And then I'm intrigued by Texas-Arizona State. I don't know that everybody is. But I'm intrigued by that game because I think Arizona State can put some points on the board and make it fun. I don't know if they'll win. And then the last game you have tomorrow night, I think Penn State's going to win, but they're kind of on upset alert. So this is one of those games where it's like Boise State could come out and get up 14-0 like that. And it's a whole different football game if that happens. Remember when Michigan played TCU in the playoff, and Michigan's going to beat them, and TCU got up 14-0 early, and Michigan had to play uphill all night long. Mm-hmm. And they didn't climb the hill. And so Penn State's got to start fast, I think, to win that game. Obviously everything leads up and away to the Rose Bowl, which should be spectacular. The first game was great. I think the sequel will be very good, to potentially great. And this game in so many ways is about Ohio State, but Oregon's the number 1 seed. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
All right, Sam. Well, we'll let you go. Wanted to thank you also for just coming on with us every Monday for the year as well. Always appreciate your time, man. We'll see you soon.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That is Sam McKewon from the Omaha World-Herald, who's not afraid to admit that he was lost on the subway system.
A lot of people would play that off. It's like, no, I was lost.
He was using his cross street too, 52nd and 8th and 4th and 10th and upper west, south, north, east side, Manhattan, Bronx, and Queens, all that stuff. Yeah, he was ripping off all those terms.
Sounded like a real New York guy.
So on the playoff, Brett McMurphy tweeted this out this morning. There will be, quote, in-depth discussions about not guaranteeing conference champs the top 4 playoff seeds in 2025. The top 5 conference champs would still get in, but the rankings would determine the seeds. This would require unanimous approval by all the stakeholders to change in 2025, but conference commissioners are, quote, open to getting the seeding right, the source said.
Why bother winning your conference? It doesn't matter.
I hate it. I am against that personally.
Against what?
I am against changing it from how they had it.
Right. Boise State getting a bye triggered so many people.
It made so many people angry.
Because you thought that dinky little group of 5 team would be lucky to be there, and it didn't work out that way.
And the big conferences are crying about strength of schedule, even though Indiana was the team that was thrown under the bus the biggest, and they got the weakest schedule of a power conference team that any of us will ever see, ever. And that was their point on them. And then the other ones, like Alabama, who got left on the outside, or Ole Miss, who got left on the outside, they took their 3 losses. They lost to garbage teams. That's why they're not in the playoff. And yet they're complaining about strength of schedule. They wouldn't have been in any circumstance.
No.
Right? So I we wanted objectivity. We wanted more objectivity, right? We wanted there to be parameters. And then we gave it parameters.
Unique
parameters. I think it's a good, we have half parameter and half whatever the hell else. Right?
Right.
Conference champions. You're in. That's your parameter. Everything else, it's randomly, not randomly seeded, but it's seeded based on the rankings. And now we can't handle that. Overreaction much. We do this every year. Every year the playoff becomes this. It's gotten so annoying.
Just let it play out for 5 or 6 years without touching it and see what the norm is 100%. Compared to the outlier.
100%.
Boise State getting a bye is probably an outlier.
But I'm not unconvinced that the Big 12 winner, being 10-3 or whatever, getting a bye, that's not crazy. You're going to see that because there's no powers in the Big 12.
There's no powers in the Big 12. Not really a kind of an influx in the ACC right now. Could be the same thing there.
But we're not going to get an Indiana again.
You don't think so?
Not in the way Indiana did it.
Okay.
Josh and I were talking about this on his podcast on Saturday morning.
He has many podcasts.
This was just one of them. We were trying to identify next year's Indiana.
Right.
And I identified Maryland. Maryland has a cake schedule.
Ooh.
But they're so unique in the sense that they got the ball rolling downhill and it's a new coach and he is the way he is.
Okay.
And they have the winning pedigree and all those guys. That is not a formula that is particularly replicable by anybody. The weak schedule part is.
I think you're going to see that a lot.
The weak schedule part is.
You can go through and I think that team might be pretty decent. And then you look at their schedule and extrapolate it and go, oh, that's a pretty cake schedule. And I think they're going to be kind of decent. Yeah, they might run the table.
So we'll come back and we'll talk about these games that we have coming up on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And a little bit more on the playoff when we return in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
There's Kirk Ferentz walking into the Big Meteor Bowl, a.k.a. the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
There you go. Could have been Nebraska.
Featuring Missouri and Iowa. Broadcasted by people named Matt Stinchcomb and Taylor Zarzor. Those are fake people, right?
Those are made up names.
All right.
AI named those humans.
Just wanted to be, yeah. They have fake broadcasters for this game. Just throwing that in. That's the one bowl game today.
People forget it's Monday.
It's Monday, which means there's the NFL tonight.
Which is kind of odd because the NFL is on every day now.
I don't know what day it is. It's not helping my inability to know what day it is. That's for sure. This show could not be complete without a phone call on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline from Random Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hey, I'm with Nebraska basketball, Mike. I'm all for Hoiberg being extended. You feel that way too?
They got him. He's extended.
I mean, are you happy about that?
Yeah, Fred is a very good coach. I've said that since the beginning. I don't know what he was doing his first 3 years, but Fred is a very good coach.
Do you notice things got a lot better when Nate Lenser rejoined him?
Yes, Nate is a very, very good assistant. Yes,
and it's kind of like really good because Fred's the offensive coordinator, right? And Nate's the defensive coordinator. And I think with our football team, I've been real positive about John Butler, and I thought it looked really good under him.
Yeah, Nate is he's an individual, like he's a really good drill guy. Like sometimes, like I think they've had some success with these teams who sort of, the pieces all come from different places. It doesn't necessarily surprise me because, they're able to get them on the same page with, Lenser sets the expectation, Hoiberg sets the expectation. They do a good job of that. Like there's a standard now with Nebraska basketball, and that's been a really cool thing to watch play out.
And boy, I think they've made some really good choices with their transfers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Bryce Williams is like we see the difference in like that the first year making the jump was pretty good. The second year, after having a year in the Big Ten, I mean, it was the same thing with like Baylor Shireman, right? First year was good. Second year, different type of guy. Same thing with Bryce.
Yeah, and all the others, and the three big guys. I think they're all they all help. They're old, and I mean, so many of them are gone. Like next year, right? It's hard to know with the COVID thing.
Yeah, it's a great question. I have no idea what anybody's eligibility is.
I mean, virtually everybody's a senior. But did you follow any of the women's games in the last few days?
I did. I was paying attention closely when it was, a Nebraska lead in the second quarter for a minute yesterday, and then that turned around pretty quickly.
But I was, and I don't know if you saw the Georgia Tech game. And in both games, I mean, these are, Georgia Tech was undefeated, and I think UCLA is too, whatever. I mean,
UCLA is the best team in the country. Like that's a. I mean, Creighton went there too, and they played them at where the Warriors play. They got absolutely crushed. I mean,
the rebounding discrepancy though, and it was enormous. And watching it showed it. The thing that bothered me about the last two games was just we're not real athletic, and in just terms of running and jumping, Georgia Tech was just quicker and jumped better, and UCLA, of course, they're bigger too, but they were just getting killed on the boards and then missing the close. I mean, you've seen enough in the job you have of missing a lot of close balls, that within 5 feet of the basket that you should not miss, and it was obscene, against UCLA. But it was just kind of depressing that athletically, and it's where Widener. She doesn't have those two knee surgeries. She was a legitimate great athlete, and they really missed that.
Yeah, still working to get back to that point for sure.
You were pretty optimistic early in the year, but I don't know.
It's been slower than I've expected it to be for sure.
Hey, about the good fortune in winning that football game. How about the horrible call that was made? I mean, if you guys talk about just how bad that call was.
Which one?
On the late slide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, not exactly. We haven't focused in on how bad the call was, but we've said that it was bad.
But here's the thing: that was 15 yards, which was huge. But the other thing was the way Raiola reacted, and I know he was. He sincerely thought the guy was going after him. I think he said after the game that the guy was trying to take him out, but he wasn't. The defender did exactly the right thing. It was nothing vicious about it. But the point is, it could have been a 15-yard penalty easily on Raiola for the way he reacted, and that's 30 yards. And that could have been the ball game, under the circumstances, the way we were, screwing up at the end. And then the fumble, I think as we mentioned, the fumble by Fedoni, that easily could have been recovered by the other team, and that could. So what I'm saying is we got really fortunate.
They got breaks. They made plays and they got breaks. It's just something that doesn't happen to teams when you're, when you don't feel like you're good enough to actually win the game.
That's exactly right. But great at what happened with Ramir, and from everything I know, and you probably know more than I do about this, the Johnson guys are really close, Ramir and Emmett, and they're just really great kids. And it's good, it's good to see, good things happen to them.
Absolutely. Mike, thanks.
Love you, bro. Take care.
Happy New Year. That is Random Mike, who loves me, bro.
Wow. Congrats.
Had to sneak in some Nebraska women's basketball stuff in there, too.
What a grind during the holidays for that team.
Yeah, they go to USC today or tomorrow?
They're the first.
Okay, Wednesday.
Hey, why don't you play a top 15 Georgia Tech team and then go out to the West Coast and play back-to-back UCLA, USC.
Everybody's going to have the USC-UCLA swing this year, and it's going to be bad for a lot of people. They'll have a better chance to beat USC than they do UCLA. UCLA is, athletic as hell. They're crazy good. But they'll have a tough time shutting off
Juju Watkins
and Kiki Arafim, I think is how you pronounce her name. Be a tough one.
Sounds right to me.
All right, let's look at these stupid playoff games.
Stupid?
Yeah, they're stupid. Well, that's what everybody else says anyway.
Playoff is broken.
Head explodes.
Why bother?
Do you think Boise State has a chance against Pennsylvania State in the Fiesta Bowl tomorrow night?
I think they can give them a half.
I think Penn State will win going away again. I think what everybody said, and they looked at Penn State and their route, like SMU, Boise State. I just think that Boise's one way to winning this. Genty's going to get probably 46 carries. Is he going to be able to get 200 yards out of it? I don't think so.
I don't know if you're running the ball on Penn State.
I just think they're shutting that thing down.
Yeah.
Give me Penn State to cover the 11.5 on that one. These are just free picks, by the way.
Free.
Pick whatever you want to do.
I would agree with that.
I think Arizona State will maybe beat Texas.
I think
you could say it certainly if you want to, Josh.
I will go on the limb and say Arizona State beats Texas.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's
I think
you're picking a dog, one of the big dogs out of the two, take them.
I think Arizona State's got a little bleep you in them.
Yeah,
and they want.
Well, they're going to be the aggressor.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Stick it. Stick it to Texas.
What about the rematch between Ohio State and Oregon? Ohio State has all of a sudden become an unbeatable wagon.
Yeah,
in narrative town over the last month.
When the hell did that happen? Oregon's been that for an entire season of football now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Ohio State having that game under their belt is pretty advantageous to them.
Okay, yeah.
Oregon will probably have a chip on their shoulder.
Nobody
respected people
us.
All of a sudden don't think they're going to win this game. I'm going to take Oregon.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely I'm not so sure about it.
This is kind of like when oh my gosh, I can get the Chiefs as a dog. Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs.
And I'm going to take Notre Dame against Georgia.
I was kind of leaning that way too. I'm sure Georgia's backup quarterback is another 5-star, born and bred to be a great quarterback, but I don't know, kind of like Georgia plays with their food so much. Notre Dame's good in the trenches. Maybe they can pop one out here.
Notre Dame good at turning people over as well. Yeah, give me the Irish, and they'll wear their names at the back of their jerseys yet again. They'll make a really big deal about it.
We don't do this all the time.
In the Sugar Bowl, the greatest sporting spectacle in America.
The All-State Sugar Bowl?
I don't know. Is it still the All-State Sugar Bowl?
Who sponsors the Sugar Bowl?
Probably. It's got to be still All-State. All-State's still over everything in college football.
That's right.
All right. It's All-State. We got to take a break. Polls, tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone. To the polls at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed, there were two.
Got to ease our way back into this.
One of which was very confusing. Which food would you rather not eat? So you're picking a food that will just sit there. Which would you rather not eat?
Sure. I follow.
Christmas cookies or buffalo chicken wings?
Christmas cookies.
Absolutely. 77% agree. Wow. I'm shocked that people, A, understood that, and B, voted for the correct thing.
Well, we don't know that they understood it, but.
Well, they got it. I mean, 77%, that's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
And finally, do you think that Josh Peterson has ever eaten a McRib?
I'm going to say no.
I'm playing the odds and saying yes.
Okay.
Find out on the crossover coming up in a couple of minutes. 74% say no.
How's that for a tease?
Those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching?
We're watching
the next 2 days.
Well, I just did tonight.
All right.
The NFL is on because it's always on. It never stops. Lions, Niners. Niners have won the last $9 million at home against the Lions. Wonder what will happen tonight.
Wow.
7:15 ESPN, ABC, and 16:20 The Zone. The Trans Perfect Music City Bowl is going on right now. Iowa and Missouri. It's your big meteor game of the week.
Nice.
It's going on right now.
Look at all that. Look
at all that yellow.
It looks nice there in Nash, Vegas.
It does. That could have been us.
Dang.
Could have been us right now. But no, the fan base did not want Nashville.
Or
They
we could have
said
been
no
playing.
to
If
Nashville.
we would have beat, if Nebraska would have beat Iowa, they probably would have played Alabama on New Year's Day. Think about that.
That sounds horrible.
It sounds.
I mean,
awesome.
everyone would have opted out for Alabama, and then Nebraska could beat Alabama.
100%. They would have won like 10-6.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, oh my God, we're back.
We're so back.
Yeah.
College basketball, number 18, Michigan State hosts Western Michigan here in a couple minutes on BTN. Number 16, Cincinnati is at K-State, 6 o'clock CBS Sports Network. That is followed by number 3, Iowa State at Colorado. Nebraska hosts Southern 8 o'clock on BTN.
That's right. Nebraska ball plays tonight. Fred Hoiberg got an extension months ago.
But we're celebrating it tonight in Lincoln. NBA TV doubleheader. Knicks Wizards at 6, followed by Mavericks Kings and their new head coach at 9 o'clock.
Not Mike Brown.
Moneyball's on True TV tonight at 6
Yes.
o'clock. I don't want my guys paying for soda. And finally on NBC at 7 o'clock, it is the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon 10th anniversary special, a 2-hour-long special which first aired in May, revisits favorite sketches, guests, and performances to celebrate 10 years on the air.
Jimmy Fallon showed up on SNL one of these last couple weeks. I have no concept of time, and made fun of himself for laughing at everything.
He did laugh at everything.
I thought
during
that
his
was
tenure.
really self-aware.
Good self-scout, Jimmy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
We'll see you Thursday.
Thursday it is.
And I'll see you at the Jays game tomorrow, listeners of the show.
That's right.
I'll see you in the parking lot later.
Happy Gilmore 2 trailers out.
That's right. If you missed anything, you can find it on our website, 1620thezone.com. Crossover is next.